Hello, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, Phoenix. Hey, Zumba. Hey, Infamous. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Lulu. Hey, Panputz. Hey, Zoe. How are you? Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. Hello. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started in here. Hello. Hey, Connor. Hey, Vixen. Hey, Quite Violet. Hello. Hey, Ember. Hey, Hunter. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's had a really great day. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started here in just a moment. This is Late Nights with Santana, and this is our panel discussion, and it's night 2, right? It's the open forum where we're giving voices to people within the community, and we want to just make sure that we have an opportunity to hear from everyone. So, FYI, this is not a debate. This is not a debate, guys. We're not debating. Please, if you are under the if for some reason you are here to debate, please understand we're not debating this evening. That's not what's happening. We are here for a panel discussion. We're here to talk about the community. We're here to talk about important things that we're facing. And everyone's welcome, from mods to members to mutuals. But please understand that this is not a debate. So just wanted to make sure that I was very clear on that. I know there's a lot of people that didn't get an opportunity to actually join last night. So I'm going to try to get as many people in here as possible, especially the people that were unable to make it. Hey, Kobe. If you guys don't mind, over on TikTok, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin, and we'll boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Also, if you could knock out the daily gift goals, the pink heart puffs, please. That'll help boost the live. Share the live to your stories, and also repost it, please. Please. No, it's not only US. It's only people within our communities. So you do not have to be in the US to actually join the conversation. Anyone can join. Any and everyone that may want to actually join can join the conversation. We're talking about things that are happening within our country, things that are happening within our community, ways that we can actually grow together, not in the sense of the country, but in the sense of like personally, how do we grow? And we have a your way, which is just me opening up for an opportunity for you guys. If you've like heard me debating about things or talking about things, and you've wanted to say like, hey, what does this mean, or what is that, and you've just never been in a position, especially like while debating, and you want to actually have an opportunity to get an answer, this is your opportunity. If you're over on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Instagram, and you want to join the conversation, you can definitely do so. You just have to click that link and it'll get you up here. And if you guys could keep tapping the screen, let's go and get likes up 10,000 likes. And can we knock out the pink heart post, please? We're going to go ahead and kick it off, and we'll be starting, and I'll start adding people up in just one moment.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams and the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures, but the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana, yeah. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already knew. Late nights with Santana. Late nights, no static. No highlight reel, just the soul's reflection. No shade throwing, just connection. From streetwise truths to deep reflections, we turn hard talks into blessings. They say they run the game, we build new rules. We here to heal, uplift, and break the old rules. They kept us boxed in, divided by fear, but you find us lined up when the truth appears. Yeah, weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already knew. Late nights with Santana. Late nights, no static. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already knew. Late nights with Santana. Late nights with Santana. You already knew. Late nights with Santana. Late nights. Late nights with Santana. You already knew. Late nights with Santana. Late nights.
Guys, welcome in. This is Late Nights with Santana. We are going to get started here in just a moment. Just FYI, this is not a debate. So if anyone is actually here and they are under the expectation that they are coming up for a debate, I apologize, but you are not here for a debate this evening. This is a panel discussion. We're talking about things that are happening within our country, within our community. How do we actually grow as individuals? And, you know, anything that you guys may have wanted to get answers for. I know last night we kind of ended up with a couple of questions that I was unable to get answers for. And I'm hoping that we can kind of circle back around and get those answers today. But more than anything, I just want to make sure that we have time to actually, as a community, you know, go through the things. With that being said, I'm going to start letting people up. As I let you up on the panel, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. I'm going to go through and we're going to do a quick introduction. And once we do those introductions, then we'll get into the conversation. But again, please remember, this is not a debate. Yeah. Thank you for leaving the request. I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
All right, and then over on YouTube, we have Vash. I see you, Vash.
Keep my platform's name in your mouth.
All right, guys, we are gonna go ahead and get started here. Let me get this on there. Should be good. We're good. All right, guys. If you don't mind, keep tapping the screen, share the live. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 25,000 likes. Also, if we can knock out the daily gift goal, It'll help boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Right now, it's the little roses. So if we can knock those out, that'll help boost the live. I promise I'm going to try to cycle as many people in and out as much as possible so we can have a fruitful conversation and really just ensure that we're able to hear from the community as a whole. And like I said, feel free to join if you are a mod, if you are a member of the community, if you're a mutual, does not matter. If there's anything that you want to come up, talk about, share, then please go ahead and do so. And then we'll go from there. So I'm going to start with Kylie. Kylie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Kylie, with this actual panel discussion, and you don't have to tell me what it is for this evening, or you don't tell me what it is yet, but are you coming with something as far as a question, or is there something specific that you wanted to talk about?
More of like somewhat a question, somewhat a discussion, but more so relating to like voting and the Electoral College and things like that.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you. Give me a second here. What's the word? How are you?
I'm good. What a pleasure to be back.
Good to have you back. What's the word with the conversation tonight? Did you have a topic specifically that you want to talk about, or did you have a question that you wanted to get answered?
I think more of a topic, which could probably lead to questions, but more so a topic.
Okay. Good. Perfect. Thank you so much. Give me a second. Just Jay, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Yeah, hi.
Good. Just Jay, did you bring a topic specifically that you want to talk about this evening, or did you have a question specifically that you wanted to get answered?
Both.
Okay. Sounds good. Give me a second. And last but not least, Vash, how are you?
My lawyer has advised me not to answer this question.
I would take your lawyer's advice. Vash, did you have a specific topic that you want to talk about this evening, or did you bring a question that you wanted to get answered?
Honestly, I have like maybe a topic to yap about other than anime for once.
Okay. Perfect. Give me a second. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And like I said, if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and get in a request no matter where you are. I'm going to try to cycle people in and out to make sure that we get as many people in as possible so we can have these conversations. So please be patient, and we'll go from there. Before we get started, though, I do want to remind people that to people on the panel, please use TikTok friendly language. What does that mean? That means that we want to use words like pew pew, unalive, mustache man, C19, things like that will protect your TikTok and also the live. We also want to remind people that this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means that we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We also don't do any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play that on the panel nor in the chat. Speaking of the chat, guys, please remember, caps are for mods. Please do not use caps. Caps are for mods. They will draw my attention away from the panel into the chat, and we want to be able to have this conversation. So please do not use caps. But continue to be active participants, right? Tap the screen, share the live, get the likes up. All right, let's get the likes up to 25,000 likes. Let's knock out the daily gift goal, which is the little pink heart puffs. Repost the live to your stories and also to your FYP. And last but not least, if you like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks For You. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy what we do here on late nights, you want to keep supporting and keep it going, please consider donating. Kylie, floor is yours. What topic did you want to bring for us to discuss this evening?
Yeah, so I know yesterday I was in the live as well, and you had mentioned briefly something about how the Electoral College is kind of like just not it. And I'm 23. I watched Obama get elected. My family is very conservative, and I don't interact with them whatsoever because I could not help them to see just like human decency. Like, they're just not great. They were very like up in arms about everything that was happening when things were getting better. They were super MAGA when Trump started entering the playing field. And so I've seen a lot of very different perspectives. I grew up in a very like progressive area in California. And when we learned about the Electoral College, I was like, okay, great, they're going to represent us. And then we start voting and it's not happening. And so I'm kind of at a point where I'm wondering if it's just kind of pointless. And so for the first little while, I almost was just going to not vote because I felt like it was pointless. But I figured it might as well try, you know? And so in the last election, I had voted for Claudia de la Cruz. I felt like her views and policies reflected a politician I'd vote for as best as one could. But like going back over the ballots, it was like 0.1% if she was even on the ballot. And I'm wondering if I don't know, I'm starting to feel like maybe I wasted my vote and it would have been better off if I had voted for Kamala or another more prominent Democrat to avoid having Trump in office now. And I'm wondering how you feel about that.
Yeah. So when you talk about electoral politics, it really depends on how you view things, right? I always have the sorry, 1 second. Nicholas, stop being weird in the comment section. If you're going to be weird, then just leave. Like, I'm not exactly sure what's happening right now, but stop being weird. As a matter of fact, I apologize. Give me 2 seconds. Are you okay? Why did you leave? I literally just accepted your request. Nicholas, why would you leave? Nicholas, I sent your request. I apologize. When it comes to electoral politics, it really depends on where you fall within the spectrum of electoral politics, because some people just don't believe in it, right? I mean, some people have lost all faith in electoral politics, in which I understand why they have, because of what you just said, right? So I think that when talking about electoral politics, you have to have a really sober mind, right? Ooh, crap. Sorry. 1 second. Sorry. Just wasted water, and it went right towards like a power outlet, and I just didn't want it to get on the power outlet.
You're all good. That was a chaotic moment, I'm sure.
Yeah. I was saying, when it comes to electoral politics, it's really people are two minds, right? A lot of people don't believe in electoral politics because of how it doesn't actually work in a lot of ways, right? I mean, yes, the Electoral College is absolutely an antiquated system that was supposed to give people representation, but then it really restricts the representation. It reduces votes, right? Because, you know, me being in Washington State, my vote doesn't count as much as someone's vote in Pennsylvania or someone's vote in like Arizona, places that would be considered swing states.
Right.
So, like, a lot of people don't participate for a multitude of reasons, but when people do participate, I think that there's a false morality in believing that we live in something besides a duopoly, right? My biggest problem with people who voted for Jill Stein or Claudia de la Cruz or Cornel West or anyone else like that is your vote went to Donald Trump. And that's just like by proxy how it works. If Kamala Harris would have won, your vote would have went to Kamala Harris by proxy. That's how it works, right? at this time, since we do live in a duopoly, voting outside of one of the major parties is absolutely throwing your vote away. And it's not just in the sense that the people that you're voting for don't have a real chance to win. It's the end game. Let's say Claudia de la Cruz would have actually won. What representation does her party have down ballot?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's going to be working against them.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I said. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of different minds, and I have a lot of friends that don't participate in electoral politics. I have friends that do participate in electoral politics, and I think more than whether we do or don't involve ourselves in electoral politics, which I'm not going to tell people what they should or shouldn't do. The thing that I will say is, regardless of what you do, make sure that you are actually being impactful. At the end of the day, I don't believe in politics, politicians, the government, governmental systems. I believe in people. And so while I do participate in electoral politics, I am of no mindset thinking like, oh, this one politician is going to do something great for everyone. I mean, I think that if you look at the history of electoral politics within our country, while I call out all the time how the Republican Party hasn't passed a piece of legislation that's overwhelmingly benefited everyday Americans within the last 60 years, the Democratic Party isn't much better, right? They may have a piece of policy here or there, but they're not like great. And so understanding like what's necessary for us as a community and how that works and things like that, I think that's way more important. So
Yeah. I think that perspective makes a lot of sense. And I appreciate you talking to me about it.
yeah, I will say, if you are of someone that believes like, oh, I think a third party candidate would be better, I think the better thing, instead of actually just saying, oh, I'm going to vote at the top of the ticket and vote for this person, it's understanding like, how do you create a grassroots movement where there is levels on the local level, state level, and within Congress, in order to have like backup for whoever you want to vote for. That's why like the idea of Jill Stein showing up every 4 years and running with the Green Party is silly. They don't do any of the additional work to gain or maintain electoral politics outside of like the presidency.
Okay. Just to make sure I'm understanding, you mean like if we were to vote more towards a third party in like our county and our more local elections, it could potentially boost us towards that direction? Or more of like
I've had this conversation with someone before who was like, oh, my whole thing is both parties suck, so I'm voting libertarian. Yeah, you're voting libertarian, but like you don't know anything about any libertarian candidates. You're not doing any work to actually engage and push whatever views that libertarians hold. You're just basically taking this moral stance and saying, well, I'm not participating in the duopoly. And if you're just not going to participate in the duopoly, then just don't participate. I mean, pretending as if voting third party is somehow like either moral ground or doing something different than voting for one of the two big parties, I think that's something that that's just not true. Like there's no anyone voting third party today is just throwing away their vote.
Yeah, I think that's really fair. I don't think I went into it necessarily thinking like, oh, I don't want to vote with Democrat or Republican. I do very much agree with your points on like how the entire government is corrupt. If I could have it my way, fully reset, just we need a whole new system. But I know that's unrealistic, and we need to go through the processes and try our best to have people in leadership positions that are going to do things for the benefit of everyone in a way that's not going to just cause problems within Congress or things like that. And so I feel like that makes a lot of sense, that the duopoly of it all is very like you gotta figure out which way is gonna work best and not just
No matter what
what
you
your
do,
favorite
just make
is.
sure that you're actually putting time, energy, and effort behind it, like actual work, because just casting a vote and thinking something's going to change is not reality, no matter which way you vote, no matter it's Democrat, Republican, third party. Just casting your vote and just waiting for something to happen is absolutely never going to happen.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
All right.
I appreciate your perspective. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
What's the word? What's the word? The floor is yours. What do you have?
First things first, I've been up here a fair amount of times. You know, my ADHD makes me yap away. So please cut me off when needed. But the biggest thing that I want to talk about, bring up, and share, I'm a special education teacher. I just actually accepted a new position. And it's a massive pay cut to an already low paycheck, but it's rebuilding the special ed department in a residential space. And with just everything in terms of the IDEA and ADA and just special education being sent down to HHS under RFK, it's so scary and stressful, especially just knowing some of the previous things he said, in specific the Tylenol. And it's scary because it turns my job into advocating for students and saying, okay, who are they? How can I help them with what's going on? But it's going to turn into, and it already has started to turn into, who are they? What's wrong with them? And I think that is so scary. So I don't know if this was just, I just really respect you. I watch you, Dean and Parker, every single day religiously. I should start paying my Spotify bills to you three. But I don't know if it was just to like say it to someone who genuinely takes the time to understand and advocate and listen. But that's where my mind's been at. So yeah.
Yeah. I think the tough part of what's happening right now is we're seeing social norms dismantled. I think the issue is that we're seeing a lot of the things that we've taken for, like, I don't want to say granted, but just assume that they're always going to be there, because they are. And we've said, well, these protections for people, these protections for human rights, these protections, these building blocks that we believe in, well, they're always going to be there. And the truth of the matter is, I always think about people say, well, Donald Trump has dismantled all the progress that we've made. And the question I always think about is, thank you for the glasses. If Donald Trump could dismantle all the progress that we've made in this short amount of time, then how much progress did we actually make? I think society, or our country, is so scary right now to a lot of people because a lot of people are starting to feel the same impacts that a lot of marginalized people have always felt. I think, you working in special education, firsthand, like the way that the youth that should be uplifted and given every access and resource, like how being a teacher and working in special education is a double whammy, right? The teachers have to pay out of pockets. They're told that they have to raise our youth and educate and grow our youth, but then aren't given the tools necessary. And a lot of times you guys have to, be parents for kids away from school by quote unquote making ends meet, right? And you got to go out and buy markers for your kids. You got to buy supplies. You have to be creative because there's a lack of funding or resource. And I think a lot of people are starting to see how many cracks there are in the wall for us as a whole. I think the best thing that I can say right now is like what you're feeling and what you're experiencing. It's not abnormal in the sense of like you're spot on. You see what's happening. You know what's happening. And I think the best advice that I could actually give is doing whatever possible to protect your students, right? To continue to show them support, continue to at least allow them to try to continue to grow. And then, I said this to the last person, I believe in people more than I believe in government. So online communities, offline communities, are you a part of a teachers union? Do you guys have a union?
So the school, I just accepted the position. We had our first meeting yesterday, and that was really eye-opening to what I have actually walked into. It's not a private school. It's not a public school. Each of these, so I work with incarcerated youth, which is it's another intersectionality point of education. And then that, but in specific, I went from teaching in alternative spaces to now it's a residential space where these students have legal guardians, but due to personal home life issues, their legal guardians cannot be their custodial guardians. So within the school, they are now custodial guardians and living in these homes. So there's no really union because some of the teachers actually live on the campus. It's the whole town is just this school. And someone just said that is public school, and it's not. Trust me, I know. So it's a very unique setting. And I think my biggest thing is and I appreciate you recognizing just what teachers go through. But I think what's also hard is I just love what I do. I love my students. I love everything that goes into what I do, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I tell my friends this, it's both a blessing and a curse. Because I couldn't imagine doing anything else, but at the same time it gets to like, it's, for me, I'm thankful it hasn't, but with just everything going on,
let's circle
I feel
back
like it's going to be a point where I need to switch.
I don't think you actually answered the question though. Do you belong to a teachers union? Do you guys have a teachers union?
No, I said no.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I must have missed it. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I see. That's my yapping.
I know for a fact you're not the only one that's feeling like that as far as you and your colleagues, right? This may not be popular in the sense of understanding what ramifications it'll have in the short term, because it's going to affect the kids. But I would look into unionizing, right? Finding a way to actually pool collective power to be able to like at least get securities on the state level, since especially the federal government is trying to take away from the Department of Education and disenfranchise, especially with, people who do need those accommodations. Maybe think about like seeing like what steps can be taken to, go down that route and try to force protections for your students.
Yeah.
Regardless, like I said, I mean, I put more trust in people than in the government, and I think that's always going to be your best bet.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I don't, again, scary world right now.
Yeah.
I guess I just want to impart how much I appreciate you.
Yeah, no,
Um,
listen, you
holding
don't
these
have
spaces.
to. We're a community. We're in this thing together, and like things are really tough for everyone. The one thing that I often think about is, and this is going to sound kind of like sad when I say this, but as a Black person, the unique ability to see our way through like the toughest times out of necessity, not out of the fact that like, oh, there's a random tough time. Just the ability for Black people to not only survive but thrive in the toughest of times. And like I don't think I can. I'm not saying every single person has or can do that. But I think as a collective, as a whole, we found ways to um, pull together and take care of each other in real times of need. And like that's just why I keep thinking about like it was so important for me to talk to the community and try to go through there. So
And I just, before I head out, there's 3 things and I have them in my head.
no, we got to keep it moving. There's a lot of people waiting.
No, 3 super short things, sentences.
I don't know. I was about to say, I don't think we can run through 3 more things. There's a lot of people waiting.
No, not 3 more things. It's just 3 sentences to you. 1, thank you for making these spaces and being here day and night and talking to people, but also having these late night shows.
Absolutely.
2, that idea that you're talking about, it's just such a BS idea. I'm not discrediting you. It's just scary that it's like this being desensitized to what shouldn't be normal. And I think it's, in a way, very eye-opening to hear you say that, because it's very, very true.
Yeah.
And 3, thank you. Thank you. And please take your flowers. I know that you love what you do. I know you do it all the time, but just thank you.
All good. I appreciate you coming up. I appreciate you being a part of our community and sharing, and like take to heart what I said. I mean, I think like us taking control and taking power is more impactful and important than hoping things will get better. So anyway, thank you so much for coming up.
Of course. Thank you again.
All right. Have a good one. All right, guys, I'm going to start bringing more people in just a moment. Again, this is a community conversation. If you're interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and request up. This is an open panel. We have the ability to talk about what's happening in our country, what's happening within our community, things that we can be doing on an individual basis to better ourselves. And if there's been any questions that you guys have had from anything that you've heard me cover, and you've always wondered like, hey, what does that mean? Or da 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 da. This is the time. All right. Or even I know a couple of people said like, hey, I have an idea about like a topic for late nights or whatever. So if that's the situation, then this is the opportunity to get that across. So go ahead and hop in the request, and I'll get people in here as much as possible. W's in the chat for Jane for the $5 super chat to say, would you please give me the woman's address who's talking about the genocide in Africa's today with you? I can't give you her address, but her name is Covey. It's Athena. I don't think Athena has. I don't know if she's still here. I know she has TikTok. I'm not sure if she has a YouTube. Can someone check and see if Athena has a YouTube? I don't even know if she's still here, but like that's Kobe. That's Athena. But like I'll get you her information as quickly as possible. W's in chat for Daniela for the $1 donation. Hey, Lil B on. Are you? I'm assuming you'll say you'll be on at like 9:15 unless. Or will I be on at 9:15 unless otherwise? Maybe we'll see. Just let me know. Debbie's in the chat for Alice. Hey, Alice, for the $1 donation. Can't watch it live because it's 3 a.m. in the UK and I have therapy in the morning. Good on you. Have a good night and give my love to the community. I got you. And follow up and said I wanted to get my voice heard because I left my ex last year. In a few weeks, I should be divorced. Okay. I'll be starting lives and telling my story, and I wanted to get some support. The username is Leslie. Absolutely, on TikTok. If anyone wants to follow and support, Dub's in the chat. Thank you so much for that. If anyone else likes to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you. It's the best way to support the live. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. I'm gonna bring a couple more people here on TikTok. I'm gonna get to the other people and then bring someone else in after we get to Vash over on YouTube. All right. Just Jay, how are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good. So this is not really the question is just random, real quick. So I sent you a message and I was wondering if you had seen it, and if not, then that's whatever. You can look at it later. But
I did.
Yeah,
I just didn't
you
reply
did?
to it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. And then I think, and I know it's getting a lot better now, but like they didn't really talk about it much back then. But I think like mental health and stuff is like still overlooked a lot, because like I hear a lot about like, because I'm transgender and I hear a lot of like, oh well, transgender is a mental illness. Like, one, it's not, and two, like it's, yeah, I don't know how, yeah, but like and I just feel like they, how do I explain this? A lot of people don't really talk about it unless you've been in the psych hospital, then they do. But like the most I've really ever heard people talk about it is when I'm in the psych hospital, you know, like, and I feel like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kay. Trigger warning, content warning. I'm kind of two minds about this, and the reason why I say that is, one, I don't think we should be talking about transgender people, and not in the sense of like, oh, like they're not important, but like I feel like the fact that we accept people coming up and wanting to debate the existence of transgender people, like that's so weird. And it's so weird that so many people accept that. And it's so weird that so many people want to speak on a group of people that makes up a small portion of our population, while at the same time, most of them don't even know a transgender person. And I vehemently stay away from like debating subjects when it comes to transgender people, because I try to stay away from debating human rights. I just don't. I think it's unacceptable, because what happens is when you do engage in those type of debates, the reasons why you keep hearing people talk about, oh, it's a mental issue and da 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 da, which it's not. But the reason why you keep hearing that is because so many people are willing to have that debate, and then the people who only know misinformation or disinformation, people that are only trying to spread hatred, or just trying to repeat as many of the things as they've heard, they're going to get those things out. And so when people open up the door to actually debate, transgender people and what they should or shouldn't be able to do as far as existence, then yeah, I just like, I don't agree with that. But then also, like you say, like, don't talk about it, but then the inverse happens of what you're saying, right? It completely allows people to run away with the narrative, in the sense that, oh, well, maybe that's true. No one is saying in the opposite, so it must be true. So one of the things that I advocate for, and I try to bring this up whenever like someone comes up for some reason and wants to debate me about transgender people, first and foremost, I'm like, that's weird that you want to debate me. I'm not a part of the queer community. Why would you want to debate me on that topic? But more than that, I try to make sure that I point to transgender people that host live, because there's a plethora of people on this app that do this day in, day out, who don't get the type of time, attention, and space. I go sit in Lainey's live, and Lainey doesn't get the time or attention that she deserves. Eli doesn't go as live as much, but Eli doesn't get the time or attention that he deserves. I know Sean doesn't talk about it as much, but like Sean should have thousands of people listening to her speak, literally thousands of people. Every time she clicks live, she should have thousands of people listening to her speak. So I think it's just, in my opinion, I would rather push them towards those people that are a part of the community that want to use their voice. But then I also, I worry about like not using my platform to fight back. It's a tough situation for me, but I don't believe in debating human rights. So it's kind of hard for me.
Yeah, and that's honestly so fair. And also sorry about not saying trigger warning in the first place. I should have. Like I can't speak today. How do I put this into words? I had it in my brain and then I totally forgot.
Take a second. I saw a question that I wanted to answer in the chat. Space Juice, she said, what about lending your platform to trans people? The thing about that is all of my friends know that they have like an open invite. Sometimes I have to fuss at my friends and tell them that they can come up, like they have the option to join me. So my mutuals know that. I used to, anytime someone wanted to talk about like trans issues, I used to say, all right, let me go grab this person or go grab that person. And the reason why I don't do that anymore is because why should they have to labor with a bigot? Why should they have to labor with a transphobe? Why should they have to deal with an uphill battle with someone who's not educated, someone who's not trying to actually come from a place of learning or understanding? They just want to be hateful. And so not only am I not interested in tokenizing my friends, I'm also not interested in making them do a labor that's going to be harmful. Now, if they're here and they want to join and all this other stuff, I like all of my mutuals know that like anytime they request up, if I can't get them in immediately, I get them in as quickly as possible. But I hate the idea of throwing up the bat signal to get someone that's part of such a community that's so attacked. Like I know for a fact that we're all attacked in some way or the other, but the way that like everyone, and this isn't just like here in the US, this is a global attack on trans people. And so putting them in the line of fire in front of thousands of people, like it's hard for me to justify that. I'm sorry. I just want to give you time to collect your thoughts and answer that one question.
Yeah. So I do like respect a lot of people that even though they're not part of the LGBTQ community, I still like respect them a lot for like sticking up for us, because I honestly all the time feel like I'm not going to say the word because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but the T word. Trans? If you know what I mean. No, TORRO.
Terrorists?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on here, but
Sorry, yeah. This is late nights. Yeah, T group. That's fine.
Yeah. So I feel like sometimes people think that I'm that. So then like it makes me feel better when I see people that are not even part of the LGBTQ community sticking up for us. And then also I thought it was mostly like America that was
no, like I'm telling you, there's a systematic attack on trans people globally. It all seems coordinated. Like I'm sure there has to be some type of coordinated effort behind it, but it's so gross. It's so gross to see it on a global scale.
I mean, I've even seen like people in the LGBTQ starting to hate the trans community.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I posted a video one day and I was like, you cannot be part of the LGBTQ and hate your community at the same time.
You can. You can. I mean, people are anti-Black all the time. Like
that's true.
The people that I have the the least amount of patience with, and that I like have the hardest time talking to, is Black men that like are conservatives or support like this ideal of conservatism. I have the hardest time with them because it
Yeah.
like you're a part of this marginalized community, and even more so, like there's nothing that you're going to do that's going to benefit you to the individual level that would offset the harm that you're causing us as a community. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming up. Thank you for
Mhm.
joining the conversation and being here within our community. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vash. Hey, Vash.
Well, yeah, that's me. I'm the guy.
Oh, what do you got, Vash?
One, never say I'm from YouTube again unless you want me to turn fully into Tony
Twitch.
Montana.
Twitch.
Exactly. Two, I came up here to yap about how bad AI is, basically.
That is
Because,
your thing. Go ahead. You got it.
man, I just want a new freaking graphics card, man. But man, these billionaires sure do need their pollution, their huge pollution devices, and I think I told you this, but they're trying to build a whole data center by a zoo. Like that's so messed up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. One thing that I will tell you is, and I hadn't had the opportunity to talk about this because, people are coming up and deciding to be crazy. But you know how I usually have stuff to kind of fill the gap while we wait for ops while I'm debating.
Yeah.
One of my topic is AI update, right? And so there's a lot that's happening with AI. Number one, it's racist. Um, so recently, people that have been using AI to do hiring, they've actually found that the programming has been weeding out candidates that are Black or Asian, i.e., Indian. So specifically, it's targeting minorities with the actual AI, ensuring that these people are not able to be pulled in for a job. So, you know, racist AI. But at the same time, there's a multitude of failures that are occurring. Jeff Bezos came out talking about how apparently we need more, AI needs more water, and it's a waste that they're not allowing the data centers to be able to utilize more water. So they're getting kind of shut down on that front. And then the CEO of gosh, what is it called? I'm looking for my notes and I can't find it, but the CEO of um, it starts with an A. Gosh, what is it called?
Apple?
No.
Okay.
Give me a second. I gotta find. Oh, here it is. Anthropic. The CEO of
Oh,
Anthropic
okay.
uh, is talking about how AI companies need hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue, or they're gonna go bankrupt. So a multitude of and still, to be specific, Jeff Bezos' quote was, he said that says that human water consumption is limiting AI potential.
Let's go have Jeff Bezos live in a California forest. How about that?
Yeah,
I think that would give him the idea.
yeah. So overall, the thing that I find super interesting is that we are on the cusp of this AI bubble popping. And it's just going to be what's the fallout, because there's been billions of dollars pumped into like AI, and you see a multitude of companies propped up over the idea of AI, and it's just not worth it. It's not good enough. And even when like you do get good AI, like good AI is coming out of China, and they're making it for free just to piss off the US. So
And
like I
click
think
off.
there's this at it. Yeah. Like that's why I use DeepSeek. I refuse to use ChatGTP, because F American AI.
Yeah.
So yeah, It sucks, but I think that something's going to shake really soon.
Oh, I hope it pops because man, I hate that I'm gonna have to wait till 2028 to buy any computer part just because these billionaires want to pollute the air, sound, and water. And like also because I have a bunch of artist friends, Discord gamers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally just steals from the web and scrapes all their images.
Mm-hmm.
And by definition, that's theft. And like all the freaking billionaires are like pulling back you wouldn't download a car, brother. You downloaded everyone else's art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's insane, and I think that like I'm super interested because so many people were like, I am I'm skeptical of stuff a lot, and one of my favorite movies is I, Robot.
Oh yeah,
And
the one with Will
I
Smith.
tend to like a lot of the things that have been happening. I'm like, we saw this in a movie, right? I don't know if you saw this, but they cloned dire wolves, and now they're talking about cloning dinosaurs. Like we've seen this.
I'm not going to live in a world of Jurassic Park. I am not going to live that.
I'm telling you, it's so like we've done, like they've made the movies about all this stuff that's happening. Like, why are we doing this? Like, we know how this ends. So I don't know. I mean, whether it's Terminator or The Matrix or like any of this other stuff, I feel like we've seen this. Like, what are we doing? So I don't know. I'm always of that perspective.
It is so goofy, and I know I use the word goofy a lot, but holy Christ on a crutch, that is goofy, like cartoon villain level of goofy.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Eggman could not
Skynet
come
is
up with a
watching us.
crazier
No,
one.
literally, Skynet is Palantir, and if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Freaking Bowser from Mario could not come up with a crazier scheme.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming up and ranting about AI. That was a good change of pace.
Yep. Everyone, don't use generative AI. It's objectively bad and it's terrible.
Yep. I try to, if I ever see, like when I'm scrolling through social media, if I like see any AI, I immediately scroll past it, or like I don't repost it, I don't like it, I don't engage it at all.
Yeah.
One, because I don't want it like popping up on my timeline, but two, I'll say this, right? When like AI really became a big no-no for me is when they started making AI videos of Black women like eating fried chicken and like, like the coonish stuff, and I was like, oh,
yeah, that was uber screwed up, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, they're coming after Black people. Got it. Like this is going to be a thing for Black people. So yeah.
I mean, also because Grok made a little too many children in bikinis.
Yeah, yeah. Grok enabled child corn. So anyway, I appreciate you coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and let you down.
Peace out. Call me Sleepy Joe because I'm going to bed.
I know that's right. Have a good one.
Peace out, man.
All right, guys, we're going to keep it moving. We're going to bring more people up, and we're going to keep this conversation going. Shay, how are you?
Hi, are you saying me, Shayla?
Shayla, sorry, Shayla. Yes, okay. I'm sorry. How are you?
It's okay, Santana. I'm fine, and you?
Good. What did you want to talk about this evening?
So, Santana, I'm interested in your perspective on whether leaving the United States is becoming a serious quality of life decision rather than simply a lifestyle choice. For me, I'm increasingly concerned about the state of mental health in America and the extent to which many people are merely surviving rather than thriving. That's like a big thing. I mean, I would rather thrive than survive. And we are seeing more Americans relocate to places like Japan, Panama, Ghana, Tanzania, Colombia.
Apparently, Thailand is the new wave.
Yeah, but it was short lived though. It's actually short lived. So I
Really?
deal with a lot in the yeah. So I own a language a global language company.
Mhm.
So I deal in a lot of that space. But here's what I see. I see these people, and it's kind of for me as well, in search of a slower pace, stronger community, essentially a greater peace and better access to fresh, less processed foods, less AI. You mentioned AI, so I can mention that as well. So, of course, moving abroad does not necessarily eliminate hardship. Um, and in my opinion, every country has its own challenges. Um, I guess what I'm asking is still, do you believe remaining in America currently offers the best environment for people to thrive mentally, physically, and emotionally? Or do you think leaving, whether it's temporarily or long term, may be a wise and maybe a necessary step for individual people and maybe families as well?
I think that it depends. I don't think that's a cookie cutter answer for everyone. I think the first level of making that decision is, can you afford it? Right? Do you have the ability to actually relocate out of the country? A lot of people don't have that ability. And so that's not even like a feasible pipe dream for a lot of people. Right? I mean, I think that we speak to the fact that I think it's something like 70 to 80% of people don't leave the city that they actually were born in, right? As far as where they live. So, and that's for a multitude of reasons. So, if you can pass that first hurdle of can you afford it, then the next question I would come to is where would you go, right? And making a determination as far as what would be best for your lifestyle, and whether it's you singly or if you have family, what does it look like as far as access getting there? What's the difference between your lifestyle that you want versus the lifestyle that you will have? Because even when traveling out of the country, like if let's say you go to Europe, there's still massive differences in parts of Europe than there is within the United States of America. So it just depends on where you end up going. But if you can make it past those first two hurdles, then the decision comes to like, is this going to be a permanent thing or is this going to be a temporary thing? And now that is the tougher situation because um, while I would like to say, you said, come back later, who knows what later looks like. I try not to be that much of a Debbie Downer, but like I say this all the time, most nations only last 250 years, and this is the 250th year of our nation. And
Right,
not even
exactly.
counting like the things that we're doing that like cause other superpowers to collapse. Like all of these things coincide. So making that decision is next, but then after that, I think it comes down to like one big decision. Um, do you want your country?
Hmm.
Right? And I
What if
say
your
it,
country doesn't want you? That's a big one.
yeah, you know what's funny about that? So, gosh, I don't know if it's wrong.
I
I think
know
it's the
it's loaded. It's loaded.
no, 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 no. I think it's because I finished Freedom is a Struggle by Angela
Mm-hmm.
Davis this morning. And then I started
Mm-hmm.
the 1619 Project by Nicole Hannah Jones. And
I
I
have to read
can't,
that one.
oh, that's a tough read. It's a really, really tough read.
Mm.
But I'm trying to remember if it was that one at the end of the Angela Davis book or if it's at the beginning of the 1619 Project. Um, I think it was the 1619 Project, but they were talking about like apparently like during the time of the Civil War, um, Abraham Lincoln met with then black leaders about the idea of black people colonizing an area, and they were looking at Panama, and they were thinking about
Mhm.
like sending all the freed black people to Panama and allowing them to like because they had the idea that having black people stay within the United States of America was going to cause issues for them and for the white people here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea that they had was like, listen, if we can free all the black people, let's free them, and then let's let them all go to Panama. And the black leaders at that time, they were like, no, like, this is our country. We're Americans, or da da da, all this other stuff, right?
Mm.
And I started thinking, what would that have looked like if those black leaders wouldn't have said no, and they would have actually taken that option and just allow, after the Union won the Civil War, and allowed all the black people to pack up and go start like a whole country in Panama, or whatever the case may be.
Would it have looked like Liberia? Because they did that in Liberia as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's multiple, like Ethiopia, opening up where
Never got colonized.
black people from all around the world could come and get land in Ethiopia, and that's why there's a massive Jamaican and Rastafarian presence in Ethiopia.
Yep.
But the reason why I say that is they were like, oh no, this is our country, and we're going to be here. And I think that was one of the toughest decisions, because I think, like, hindsight 2020, I sit here and think like, oh, what would that have looked like, and would things have been better for black people if they would have actually taken them up on that offer? But then also sit back and think like, why should I let anyone run me out of my country? Like, I didn't choose to come to this country. My family, I sit back and think like, I'm more American than these people that say, well, my family, I'm Irish, I'm German, I'm Scottish. Like, your family chose to come here. My family didn't choose to come here. So this is my country. And just like it's the indigenous people country. So it really comes down to the fact of, do you want your country? And if you want your country, then you stay and fight. If you're okay with letting it go, then you leave. So those are the decisions.
The only part, and I know you got a long, it's not a question really, it's kind of just an answer back. My issue now becomes more of physically, right? So what I've noticed personally, I'm a little older than some people, and what I've noticed is the older generation. So my grandmother, she died at 93, and she was really healthy. She could have lived on, honestly, forever. But I've noticed people that were born between 1945, 1955, they're dying in their 70s now. Different cancers, random cancers, multiple myeloma, just like really random cancers. And I'm like, is it healthy for? That's why I mentioned like the health part of it. Is it healthy for people to live here?
No. They're absolutely poisoning us here in the U.S. I mean, like, I had this conversation with someone earlier, and I was telling them, like, he was like, oh, America's fat. And I'm like, yeah, look at the stuff that our government allows them to put in our food. Like, you don't see other countries' governments allowing them to do that to their citizens. So yeah, and even if you talk about, like, Donald Trump just rolled back regulations that allows forever chemicals, or forever plastics, or what. I'm sorry, I'm spacing on, but like, I think it's forever chemicals. But like, he's allowing, and that's directly linked to like kidney failure, kidney disease, a multitude of cancers, and all this other stuff. And like why? So they can make
like,
more money?
Exactly. Like, where are we going at with this? It's very confusing for me now. It's very, I mean, not confusing. It's honestly, I feel like this was a necessary evil to really make us like examine where we are mentally and physically, to see if that's something that we can do, to figure out if do you want to stay here and fight for it, or do you want to survive and thrive? That's kind of where I'm at personally. I know many others are the same way.
Yeah. Well, I'll say, whatever decision you make, just make sure you make the best decision for you, your family, if you have it. And, I always encourage people to have an exit strategy. If you can, not everyone has that ability, but if you can, like, be prepared to go.
So. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Shayla. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
All right. W's in the chat for Holly, guys. Holly sent a $20 donation. Thank you for building this community. Check comment. What comment? Check comment. Oh, you sent a comment. Thank you, Holly. That makes me happy to hear that. I'm glad that you're taking care of yourself, and even more so, once you take care of like that, the fact that you are taking care of yourself mentally and moving in a different direction, I think that's a huge thing, and that's super positive. Congratulations. I think that's huge, and thank you for being a part of our community. Dubs in chat for Holly, guys. Dubs in chat for Megan for the $5 donation, saying, "Hey Santana, hope you're doing well. I've wanted to talk and ask a question for a while. I've had a bad day. Will you be doing these talk nights again?" I think this is the second time we've had like an open community forum. I try to do that every once in a while just to check in with the community. So this isn't the last time that we're doing this by any of the stretch of the imagination. It's just that we don't. I normally don't have these necessarily planned, but maybe I should make these a normal things and just put them into like the rotation of what we do here as a community. W's in the chat though. Thank you so much for that super chat, guys. If anyone else, if you guys enjoy what we do here on Late Nights, if you enjoy the space and you want to keep it going, please consider donating. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links, and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks For You is the best way to support. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Keep tapping the screen, guys. Let's get the likes up to 100,000 likes. Also, we're going to keep getting people in here as quickly as possible. This is an open panel, and that means anyone can join. You do not have to be in the US. You just have to be a part of our community, and we're talking about our country. And if you're not in the US, then the world. We're talking about like our community. We're talking about what we can do to grow personally, and your choice is just talking about like anything that you may have heard me kind of debating or talking about, and you've had questions, but you just never had the opportunity to get your question across. So feel free to join. Let's see. I'm famous Kali. Is that how you said? I'm famous Kali. Infamous. Holy smokes. Sorry. Infamous. Holy smokes. Sorry. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Did you have something specific you want to talk about or a question?
I actually wanted to talk about something that, based on something somebody else had brought up earlier. You're kind of talking about how we could make change in community based on things that we're seeing politically that we wanted to see changed. I just wanted to bring up something that's actually happening in my state based on that. Most people don't tend to talk about Idaho very often. Why are you doing this to me right now? This last year, there's been a group of people who've gotten together, and we have basically, every time that there's been like a No Kings protest or something, we've set up our own protests and events and other things, and we have managed to get enough people interested in running for all the different offices that there is no upcoming midterm that does not have a uncontested race. There is the first time it's ever happened in Idaho, and when it came to this last part for actually picking candidates, there's actually a bunch of the on the Republican side, because Idaho is redder than pretty much every other state. A lot of the candidates who have been in office forever and ever that have basically kept the state in a locked standstill were not chosen to be their seats incumbent. So we broke up this long-standing like group of 8 that pretty much kept their place in like a locked standstill, because everybody in the state is tired of dealing with all of the same stuff over and over again. And pretty much all of the same things that have been happening on a federal level, things that have nothing to do with the state, things that don't help us out at all, have been passing here, which is nothing that helps out at all, especially considering some certain human rights bills. I'm not going to bring them up because they can be very, very triggering for people. But we're tired and we're fed up, and we are trying to do things to change things here. And it's been a very dedicated group of people. We have been helping the candidates out. We have been getting people out. There's been petitions that have been going around. We finally got a petition to hopefully actually get the AB laws put in front of the people of the state, because they were basically grandfathered in, which we have some very, very strict ones that we would like to actually get, dealt with, because nobody's happy about it. And we've had some women who have been in some pretty bad situations here. So if you get enough people out there and you get talking to people and you get out there, you can make a difference. But it does take work, and it does take people going out in their community and doing things, but it can be done. Especially if we can do it here in Idaho, you can do it in your own state.
Yeah. I think that's really important to actually mention. One of the knocks that I have on the No Kings protest is that it seems to lack follow through. It seems to lack purpose in a lot of different places. A lot of people, they wait for once a quarter to protest, and they make signs and they go out and they march in masses by the millions, and then they go home. And then that's it. And while I think there's different forms of follow through that could occur, I think you doing something is more than just actually being involved with the actual protest. So using the protest and parlaying that into an actual community or a group that you can mobilize and weaponize, that that's an actual thing. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing. That at least that's what's happening, because we need more follow through, right? I think that even if you talked about the No Kings protests, if we were doing No Kings protests every single day until something changed, then it would be impactful. But we here in America, we're just too comfortable, and we can't actually just shuffle our lives for too long before we have to get back to the comforts that we have. And so since we're afraid of losing our comforts, we'll never get actual change, because you have to be willing to lose other things in order to make meaningful change. But I do think the actual thing that you're doing and the thing that you guys have done is way more than anyone else has done with the No Kings protest, being honest.
Yeah, we've been using it for community mutual aid. We always run some sort of donation. We've been getting school supplies for people. We've been getting food for people. We have been using it for candidates. We've been using it for different groups to help get their stuff out there. We've managed to get helping out with a whole bunch of different groups in the area. The fact that we got as many candidates as we do out there. We did a community feed, meet the candidate, I want to say a couple weeks ago. We're constantly talking in different groups to try to do all sorts of different aid for people. I helped out, I want to say a few Saturdays ago with a group getting a bunch of different free services for houseless shelter, to try to get haircuts for people, things of that nature. And we're constantly talking to people, reaching out to different people. And we doing this on our own, separate completely from anything else, because we want to see change. We're tired of seeing this. We're constantly harassing our senators, all of our representatives, everything, all the time. People don't particularly care to see us coming. They know us by sight. So this is what you have to do.
That's good.
You have to get out, and you have to do it.
No.
So
absolutely.
I wanted to bring that up, because it's how you make change. You have to get out, and you have to find people who want to do it with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're out
even
there.
more than that, you absolutely want to be a force where people don't want to see you coming. Because again, I mean, the only way substantive change is going to happen is by a disruption of the status quo, and disruption of the status quo doesn't look like a temporary thing. It doesn't look like a flash in the pan in a moment thing. It looks like something that is persistent and consistent. And so you absolutely want to be, I don't know if you have ever watched much basketball, but I'm always reminded of like LeBron James when he was playing for Miami, and he was getting ready to shoot free throws. And then he looked over and he saw Kawhi Leonard check in. And now this is LeBron James, arguably the greatest player of all time. And Kawhi Leonard at that time was like 19, 20, somewhere around there. And he saw Kawhi Leonard getting ready to check in. And LeBron James, at the peak of his powers, saw him and he was like, damn, he actually did that, right? Knowing that Kawhi Leonard, this young kid that's relatively unknown, is about to check back into the game, and he's going to make it so hard on him that he didn't even want to see him coming. And that's the type of people that we have to be when it comes to making change. We have to be the type of people that people hate to see coming, because they know that they're not going to have an easy time. They're not going to be able to get away with the things they would be able to get away with if we weren't standing up against it. So,
yep. And it's not easy to do in Idaho because
I believe it.
You're up
I
against a
absolutely
lot.
believe that.
The people you face here, they have PPUs, they have their opinions, and they are, there's been a lot of interesting things we faced in this last year, but we are not going to stop.
If you're not avert to it, I mean, exercise your Second Amendment right as well. You know, like that's something I advocate for. I'm definitely a believer of the Second Amendment.
Yeah, no, that's it's been definitely interesting, the response of things. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up there because somebody was asking about that, and that's honestly how you do it. You got to get out. You got to find people who are willing to do that, and you know, it's not easy in this state because you can't go way to one side. You have to take small steps because, dear God, this state is so red. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we advocate for people, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming up. I appreciate you sharing.
Yep. You have a great night.
You as well. Over on YouTube, we have Miss Bellicella. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing this evening, Santana?
Good. I saw you in the chat. What was it? I think it was yesterday, or while I was debating you were like, "I'm gonna try to come up," and I was like, "Okay." And when I saw you over on the request, I was like, "All right." So what do you have? Do you have something you want to talk about with the community, or do you have a question?
More the community. I just really have loved the community and enjoyed being a part of it since I discovered it. It has been a breath of fresh air, to say the least, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. I have a very unique position. A lot of the topics tonight that everyone's talked about, I have something to talk about for all of it, unfortunately. But I have a very unique position, and I was raised by both a history teacher and a professional accountant. So, and I have a very young family. My great grandmother is 93 years old, and still have both sets of my grandparents, parents, all that. A lot of history. And my family was affected by things that are going on now that affected them back in the past. So it's just been very nice to hear you talk about how history has affected society and everything that has affected this country entirely.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing about that is, and I said this earlier while I was on Solid's Live, the more I learn, the more that I realize I don't know. And I've really enjoyed my reading journey, right? And so, you know, I've gone through Legacy of Ash, the history of the CIA. I've gone through the Malcolm X autobiography. I've gone through the Socratic method, um, the Parables Handbook, right, about Socrates. Um, I just finished up Freedom is a Struggle, Angela Davis, and now I'm on the 1619 project, right? War by Bob
Yeah.
Woodward as well. But I say all that to say, the more I learn, the more that I find out that I don't know a lot. And not only do I not know a lot, but a lot of stuff is hidden. Like a lot of stuff is hidden and it's changed, and it makes so much sense when you like learn about certain stuff and then you see it, and then it makes sense why things are happening. Um, so I think it's my responsibility to talk on these things because I think sharing knowledge is one of the best things that we can do. And I'm not the smartest person in the world. There's like people that I know are like way, way, way smarter than me. But I think it's important to share what I do know and reach as many people as I can, because a lot of the stuff that we learned, especially in public schools here in the United States, was just flat out lie.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
like, what do you think the primary reason was for the Revolutionary War?
For the Revolutionary War? Ooh. I thought you were going to go civil there for a moment. Primary reason for the Revolutionary War, it wasn't to get freedom from England. It was to maintain control over the land of the area. It was not. Okay.
Number one reason, the actual colonies and the wanted to continue chattel slavery, and Britain was getting rid of chattel slavery. And they wanted to be able to continue. And see, now the interesting thing is the reason why they were able to engage in the Revolutionary War is because they had become so profitable from chattel slavery that they could actually sustain themselves and be able to engage in a conflict. So it's so much that people don't know. Like even when people talk about like the crops for slaves, right? People talk about cotton, and then they also talk about tobacco, but like sugar, like that's the big one.
That was the longest running one, if I'm not mistaken. It just
Yeah.
recently got pulled from the Hawaiian Islands.
Yeah, sugar has been more like the utilization. The reason why so many of these other countries started to actually engage in slavery, chattel slavery as well, is because of the processing of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's so much that, and when I learned it, I'm like, holy smokes, what is happening?
And I
Um,
do know it makes sense too, because one of the countries that we had the longest ties with was France, and they had one of the if I'm not mistaken, one of the longest running slave trades publicly.
yeah.
And yeah, fun history on my side. I have family that immigrated here from Sicily, and I also have family that is tied to an ex-president of the United States. My family still carries the name Grant from Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people are always like, oh, Santana, you're always talking about race. You're always talking about, oh, you're just racist. That's why you're talking about race. Like, I would prefer not to talk about any of this stuff. Honestly, and I say this over and over and over, I wish that I could be in a position where, I talk about pizza every single day or something. And every single day, people come up and we debate about what's the best type of pizza. Like that would be ideal.
I mean, I could get you started on Dragon Ball Z.
Say that again?
I can get you started on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Mention that, my husband will come running.
Yeah. But I don't know if you know Sean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did get
So
to see her on
Sean
her
and I
live.
did like the debate with like Carmelo Anthony and Chud the Builder. And Sean made a really great point. She was like, the reason why we got to keep talking about this is because people that don't actually know anything are actively talking about this.
Yep.
And she said that, right? And after she said that today, she sent me a live, and she was like, you see why I say we have to keep talking about this? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I clicked in, and it was people who had a background and They, of course, they were talking about it, but they were just talking about it for engagement. They had no idea what they were talking about. And so like that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about, you know, the issues with transgender people is if you let the wrong people control the narrative, then it's just going to make things worse. So as much as I don't necessarily like talking about these things, I think it's important to talk about these things.
I absolutely agree. And I personally force my family to talk about it a lot. They don't like to because we don't like to fight. We're a family. And I sit there going, y'all are ignorant and a little bit racist. And this doesn't fly around me. And if I'm having kids, they're not going to be raised around this either.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming up, and I really appreciate you being a part of our community. I know you're here like all the time, like day in, day out, and
You
I
keep
always
me
see
company
you.
while I work. Thank you.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it, Santana. Have a good evening.
All right, have a good one. Courtney, hi, how are you?
Hi, Santana. Good. How are you?
Good. Courtney, did you have a question or did you have something that you want to talk about?
There's two different things I want to talk about, but first I just want to say pineapple pizza is top tier. So we'll start with that. Two different things. I work for a company that advocates for people with disabilities. I kind of want to get your opinion on the Save America Act that Trump is dangling over our heads right now, saying that he's not going to sign the House bill if we don't sign that into action. Looking at it from a disability standpoint, a lot of people aren't going to have those documents. And what is that going to mean for mail-in voters at that point? How are they going to provide that proof or that ID, especially for the people who are homebound? So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I did a comprehensive breakdown of the SAVE Act, and I just never made the video for it, but I have like literal notes, like a bunch of notes on it. The biggest thing is it's voter suppression, in which I understand the Republican Party is about voter suppression, but it's voter suppression in a multitude of ways, whether you talk about the 21 million Americans who don't have passports and don't have access to it, whether you talk about the women that will be disenfranchised who have gotten married and changed their last name and they don't have the same last name as the one that was on the birth certificate, whether you talk about the ability it gives for like voter purging, right? There's just so much to it. And with all of those things that are occurring, it's because the Republican Party can't win, right? If we're going to be completely honest, they don't have policies to win. They run off of ideology. You know, that's why it's always a boogeyman. There's always like brown people coming from the southern border. There's always, you know, quote unquote men and women bathrooms. There's always like DEI giving every black person all the jobs that's pilots. Like it's always a boogeyman. And so that's why you've seen gerrymandering and redrawing of maps. And like you've seen this entire thing. The SAVE Act, if they really wanted to get passed, and the Democratic Party has given provisions to it to allow it to get passed, including offering options to pay for the items that would create like a cost barrier, which is essentially a poll tax, or even just giving additional options to subvert like the name option. And the Republicans have said no. And they've said no because it's not about securing our elections, it's about voter suppression. So
Yeah, absolutely. The second thing I wanted to talk about race, if that's okay. I live like PA New York border. I was on Dean's Live the other day and something really rubbed me the wrong way. An individual had gotten up there and basically said that Dean is a racist in that he brings you, Santana, up as his token black guy.
Mhm.
And like I've literally heard that term from a previous CEO before, and racism is very prevalent in my area. Seeing like Confederate flags and stuff, and I do my best to educate individuals, but what would you say the best way to combat racism is? I have a lot of people that I care about deeply for, and it's hard to see them experience this. So, and I know like coming from a 33-year-old white woman, it's definitely not the same. I'm never going to understand what that feels like, but what is the best way that I could help advocate for that in my area?
Start punching racists in the mouth.
I 1,000. If I was able to do that safely, I'm a single mom with 2 kids. I would absolutely love to do that. I just don't know.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about racism is like the abolishment, and it's not the abolishment of race. It's the abolishment of white supremacy and the idea and concept of whiteness, right? We're all like, all this is, it's all made up, right? Like the characterization of people based off phenotypical characteristics, like it's all made up, but it's all made up for a specific reason. It's all made up in conjunction with capitalism. But what precedes capitalism and race is feudalism, right? The patriarchal system. So you got to educate yourself and you got to advocate for abolishment. And again, like I really enjoyed this book from Angela Davis, but she talked about something I never thought about before, which is the intersectionality of abolishment, which spoke to the fact that like when people talk about, oh, we want to abolish the prison system. Well, they talk about abolishing the prison system, but they don't talk about abolishing like other things that prop up the prison system, including like the healthcare industry or the big pharma, right? Those things that are directly connected to it. They don't look at things that have been abolished or things that have been addressed, like the issues with like insane asylums, right? So there's a lot of intersectionality that we can look at when we talk about abolishment, but more than race, more than capitalism, it starts with the patriarchal system, dismantling those gender and social norms that restrict us as people, and then we work forward from there. But if you want to talk about like how do you just combat it on a day-to-day basis, confront it, give it no space to breathe, choke it out every opportunity that you get. Don't let people say, well, it was just a joke. No, it wasn't a joke. Oh, they're not talking about you. Don't worry about it. No, they weren't talking about me, but I'm still making it my business. So don't give it space. Don't give it air. Choke it out any opportunity that you get. But the bigger thing is we got to address the elephant in the room, which is the patriarchy.
Okay. Yeah, that's usually what I try to do. Call them out on it. Don't let it set. That wasn't funny. We're not laughing at this. Like, go ahead, say it again. Like, I want you to hear how dumb you sound and that it wasn't cool that you said that kind of situation.
That's a ableist term.
I'm sorry.
You're good. I think you know what it is. And again, the reason why I start off by saying punch races in the mouth, like I don't expect you to, I mean, if you can, swing on them. But people get too comfortable. People like the issue that I have with our society today is people are too comfortable like not having to face consequences. And maybe it's because of my age or the way that I grew up or the place that I grew up. But I never said things not understanding that at any moment, if I said the wrong thing, I could get hit in the mouth. And so I was very cautious about the things that I said. And if I said something, I mean it. And a lot of times I didn't do a lot of talking because, again, swing first, ask questions later. And so dragging people into the light and making situations uncomfortable so they don't have that space to engage in those things anymore. I think that's really important.
I love that. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. Love your lives.
Thank you. We have is it Coco? Coco Dos? Coco Dos Op?
Yeah, it's Coco Does OP.
It's Coco Dos OP. Can I call you OP? Is that okay? One second.
Yeah.
Betty say so. Thank you so much for the shares, but we're good. We're good. We don't want to keep spam sharing. That actually hurts the live. But thank you so much for sharing. You're good. You don't have to share anymore though. Thank you. OP. Did you have something that you want to talk about with the community, or did you have a question?
Kind of just to talk about, I wanted to talk about how the other day, I think it was you brought up Ari, and there was another guy on the panel, and he was talking about how his friend was like practically a Nazi. And, or am I allowed to say that on this panel?
Oh, you said Schnazi.
All right. So he was talking about that, and he was talking about how he didn't want, or he still wanted to be friends with the guy. And he was kind of, I guess, like downplaying it. It was a really good conversation, but I basically had a similar situation, where it practically mirrored the same thing, except it was my best friend, or now my former best friend, but and she was part of Turning Point. Um, and so just kind of hearing Ari use the analogy of like, oh, if you're sitting at a table full of snatchies, then um, I'm not going to look at you any different than them. Um, and it really kind of opened my eyes. So yesterday, I like blocked her on pretty much everything after sending her like a long message of being like, hey, I don't think you're going in a good direction, but I can't really help you if you're not willing to learn. Because I mean, I've tried to talk to her about it before, and she'd never really listen to me. But it was definitely really hard because she's been my best friend since preschool, and our families are still really connected. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think when we make these ties with people, and we form bonds based off of one thing or the other, especially when we're younger. And as we get older, we have a sense of guilt for drifting away from like our friend groups. And then after that, we try to hold on to whatever friends we may have, right? And so I understand like having a lifelong friend that no longer fits into the category of where you are as a person, and I understand how that can like hurt to walk away from that type of friendship. But what I will say is that I think understanding the overall premise of who you associate with is really important. Um, the analogy of like if you're sitting at a table full of Schnauzis, and like you can't tell who's a Schnazi and who's not. I think that's a good referendum. I try to be mindful of the people that I associate with, and sometimes I don't make the best decisions. Sometimes I end up coming back and saying, maybe I should have said no to a community garden, or it's okay to like not unfuck some stuff. But I think that understanding like when you have to cut ties and when things are too far gone, I think that's important. And it's always going to be hard. Like it's never going to be an easy thing. But at the end of the day, I think it'll be a fruitful thing for you, because if the person that you're calling a friend fundamentally goes against who you are and what you say you believe in, your morals, I always say morals are subjective. So whatever moral compass you have, if you think the person that you are associating with goes against your moral compass, then you shouldn't try to suffer through something if they're not aligning with you. So
Yeah, and honestly, it took a while for me to kind of really realize that. And I mean, I think your lives and some other political lives that I've kind of been listening to have really like kind of helped that and helped me like shape kind of like where I want to be on the spectrum. So it's definitely helped. But yeah, it's just, and also you have a great community here. I really enjoy being, you know, uh, I guess listening to the live streams and stuff and seeing the comments. Everyone's very nice here, and they don't put up with shit. So, or sorry, stuff. So
yeah, well, I'm just happy that you're a part of the community, and happy to see that you're taking something from it. I think that's really important, and I think what you did was like a really big deal. So good on you, and you have community here, and hopefully, you'll be able to build more friendships.
yeah. Also, one last thing. I'm the person who made the Santana and Luffy art for you.
Yo, did you see what I did with
So
that?
if you Yes, I did. Oh my gosh. I think I commented on one of the YouTube videos. It was really, I really enjoyed that. But
Yeah,
if you want any more art,
yeah, no, listen, I posted all my songs for download, and I use it as the cover art for all of my songs to be downloaded. So anytime people go to download like my intro songs, which I need to check, let me take a look really quick and see what that looks like. But they see your art anytime they go to download the songs. I haven't
yeah,
checked
that was
this in a
really
while.
flattering. I saw it on one of your YouTube things.
Yeah, it's
Um,
so dope. It's so dope. It's so dope. Holy smokes, that is a lot of downloads. 1,800 downloads. So yeah. Let's see which one is getting the most play. Sorry. No.
you're really good. I was just gonna say that if you wanted any more art, or if any of your friends are interested, I know you bring a lot of people here on the panels.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently a lot of people downloaded Brunch with My Creator. Like Brunch with My Creator has almost doubled the other two. Anyway, someone said they want to see. Hold on. Give me a second. I gotta find where I put it on here. It's so good. Like it's so good. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? It's not in here. It's not in here. I'd have to find it, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know where I put it. Where in the world
It
did I
is
put it?
It is pinned on my page. So
Yeah, it's so good. Holy smokes. Why can't I find it? Okay. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. It's so good. I love it. I love it. Okay. Got it over there. And let's put it here. Hold on. Where did I say it is? Oh, wait, here. It's in here. Okay. All right, now I have it here. Okay. Here it is, guys. Hold on. It's so dope. It's so dope. I freaking love it. It's so good. You are so talented. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you again.
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up and hanging out with us, and thank you for being a part of our community.
Of course. Thank you for teaching us a lot.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too.
It is dope, right, guys? When I tell you I love that. Oh, wait, there's another one that I'm going to show you guys as well. I got another one that's really, 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 really good. I'll end up showing you guys before I end the live, but it's so good. We have so many absolutely like crazy talented people in our community. It is mind-boggling. Alex over on YouTube, Twitch, how are you?
Hello, check.
I can barely hear you.
Hello?
You sound really far away.
Oh, man. Is that any better?
A little bit, but not much.
Damn. Sorry. I don't know. Never mind, I guess. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, if you want to try to drop and come back, you can, but you just sound like super low.
Gotcha. I'll try. Thank you.
All right. Hey Tess, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? I'm doing better.
Hey Tess, how are you?
Oh my gosh, is that me lagging?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, it's hold on.
Oh my gosh, is that me lagging?
Good. How are you?
Got her. All right.
Did
sorry.
I do that?
No. You guys said you could hear him, but could you hear him like loud? Because was it just me? Because I could barely hear him. Yeah, someone said that it was like over on the other side. They said it was like he was loud. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Tess, do you have something that you wanted to talk about with the community, or did you have a question?
Kind of. Yeah, I do. I hate Texas and I live here. We are always the bane of so many things. When I was thinking about coming up last night, but I had a migraine I was fighting, and so I wanted to see if I can come up tonight and just assess. I mean, I'm so involved in the education system in my local town, right? I do a lot of volunteer work here, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. I love my kids, and my kids go beyond just my kids, but a lot of the kids that I work with at the school and everything, just volunteering with. And Texas is driving me mad with all the different things like they're doing, like the school choice or the vouchers, because it's not as school choice as it sounds. And there's so much misinformation behind it, but there's also a law that the Texas legislature is trying to pass now where curriculum has to include a slew of different Bible verses. And it's driving me nuts because last summer I thought, okay, I'm going to pull my kids out and homeschool them. And I've been against homeschool for a long time because I'm very supportive of the public school education system.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. My kids want to have that socialization. And I've been doing some work with them here at home. Like I asked them to watch Hamilton. They love the musical, and pick out what the inaccuracies are and just I asked them to just record a little video showing 3 different inaccuracies. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little education just so they can get like the actual knowledge of stuff. On top of that, you've got a lot of people who are so misinformed about everything. And I think a lot of that goes into lack of education.
Mm-hmm.
But we're so underfunded and it's pissing me off so bad. But on the flip side of that, I'm also trying to be positive about that with the different things that I'm doing locally. Right. So we've got, I'm a member of the booster club for the athletic team. I was an officer, stepped down, but we're also doing, oh gosh, all of a sudden the word went right out of my head. Grants. There's a education foundation group that we have here in our small town that grants, I think it's about $80,000 per year to different teachers, strictly teachers that ask for grants on different ways to educate. Like there's VR systems that kids can go and look through the entire body, take a tour of the different body systems. It's so cool. There's also continuing education, or not continuing education. It's basically school, college credit, dual credit classes. The amount that the leader over the dual credit classes gets will fund 5 students for their dual credit classes, which is amazing. So already they're getting a step up for their college. One other thing we've got is, and I'll stop here, but is the, we have a teacher who passed away a couple years ago, and he always got a lot of different stuff that his students may need, either whether it be for home after school, whether it be for going and doing an interview, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when he passed, there was big outreach in the community, and now there's a whole, they've got a Boston's Closet is what it's called. It was the teacher's name was Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And there's canned goods, there's because so many of our kids go hungry, there's clothing for graduation, prom, interviews, things like that, just to push our kids further. I just never feel like it's enough, and it's so disheartening because it keeps feeling like it keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting things when it comes to the public school system, but even more so, like the difference when it comes to the public school system in the South, and then when it comes to the public school system in Texas. That's a really tough one, because when it comes to like your kids, you want to make sure that they're getting the best possible. But you also at the same time don't want to deprive them of the actual experience of being able to have like a normal childhood, in the sense of like being able to experience school and all this other stuff. I think that at this point, when we know for a fact that there's a rise in anti-intellectualism and education is under attack, and there is a lack of access and resource, I mean, like there's actual value in keeping people uneducated and ignorant, right?
Yeah.
You have to do everything that's possible to fight back. And while I advocate for, trying to take care of everyone, make sure you're taking care of your kids first, and then, secure after that. So I can't tell you what to do for sure. If you think that you can continue to ensure that your children's education is as best as possible, even with them going to the public school in Texas, then do it. If not, then that's a like public. Homeschooling is such a daunting task, but making sure that you do whatever you can and what's best for your kids is, I would always say, priority.
Yeah. And
Oh, hold on for a second.
sure.
Go ahead, Ari.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone is like fully aware of this. I live in Texas, educated in Texas. So I hear you on that. Actually, I just came from a conference about a week or so ago. We were talking about the reading scores in Texas, and Texas is now rates below Mississippi in terms of reading scores. So like it's really, 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 really bad here. So I understand that. The thing I tell people most of all is I understand if you want to, I'm not the biggest fan of homeschooling just because a lot of times people forget the socialization portion that's really important. And also why I get scared of homeschooling, because you know who's also homeschooling? The racists, right? And so it's hard to actually make sure kids are actually getting culturally responsive, culturally a curriculum that has cultural humility and nuance to it. So I think I'm going to suggest to you the same thing I suggested to the last mom that asked me this question, which was the only way you can make sure your child is getting a culturally responsive education if you do choose to homeschool is the deconstruction of yourself. This is what I teach my educators. You need to start your liberation journey and do all that stuff to make sure you can pass it on, because liberation starts with the self first. You have to be able to do it yourself to be able to educate on it. So that's how you can also vet for biases. If you get those like paid homeschool curriculum, that's how you can check in those curriculums what they're teaching.
Yeah. Oh, I've looked. There's like 5 or 6 different curriculums that I've seen that, you know, some of them I like, some of them I love. There's like 1 or 2 that I really love, but there's, you know, I'm just not sure, but I'm still going to be fully supportive of public education because there's such a struggle with getting it properly funded. And I think if it got funded, it could be fantastic, or it could be better anyway. I think funding is the key because we're moving such to school vouchers, and it's just like I am literally pearl clutching right now. It is so, I don't know. I'm so sorry, but Ari, I'm such a, no, I'm not a fan, but everything you say hits right in the gut, and I appreciate you talking
She's
with
pretty
me.
smart.
Nerd.
I'm a
nerds are coolest.
We are cool, but I am a fan of public education, so I do like want parents to keep their kids in public education overall, just because it keeps the money flowing there. Because the school voucher program is just sending money to wherever parents are sending their kids, right? And so we need the funding in those public schools, because then the schools close down, especially in brown and black communities. And so I say, even if you still also want to continue sending your child to public school, the same rules still apply, right? Checking and like the biggest thing for me, with especially in Texas public schools, is actually checking your child's homework and the curriculum that they're doing, right? Like
the teachers know me so well because I'm always asking questions about what the assignments are that they're getting, and how I can get a little bit more knowledgeable so I can help them here. My daughter has a learning disability, so I try and help her as much as we can. I let the teachers know fully before she goes in, you know, this is very helpful for her. This is where she struggles a little bit, but if I can help at any point in time, please let me know, that kind of a thing. And I watch it so close because I don't want them to turn into some of these people that are walking around today. Like,
and also know,
I'm
like,
gullible, but
as much as it feels defeating, there are so many teachers like myself that are still within the system, right? Just because like they're telling us like from higher ups that we must do this, like we find ways to tweak it. Like, let's be for real. So like we find ways around it. Actually, there are trainings. Like I know this because I'm on the inside. I know specific organizations that are facilitating training to find sneaky ways around the curriculums, that we're still hitting the curriculum goals we need to, right? But we're still providing a culturally responsive education to make sure all children are recognized in our classrooms. So there are ways like we work around the curriculum while still hitting those things. And also, I know school districts that are resisting. Like I personally know of school districts, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to get them in trouble, but I personally know of school districts that are resisting what TEA is doing.
Right. And I'm in a tiny, I always say I'm in a tiny Texas town, right? But I know our school district, the district itself is not rebelling, but I know a lot of teachers that are rightfully mad as hell.
Yeah.
So I'm very supportive of them, and they know if there's any that are not that are supportive of what Texas is doing, I'm like,
yeah.
Let me see if I can switch classes.
And keep in mind, I'm in Texas and I'm doing the work I'm doing. Remember, I teach teachers not to be racist. If I'm still employed, there's still hope. If I still have a job, which means teachers are coming to me because they want to learn, right? And I'm teaching them all the same things that you guys learn here in Santana space, solid space, my space. I literally am saying the same exact thing to them, and they're taking that into their classroom. If you know I'm still here and I'm still teaching them, then there are still educators who want to learn, who are bringing it to your kids. So there is always, like, just if I'm still here breathing, it's still happening, you're good. You got it?
Yeah, absolutely. I thank you so much for coming up. Santana, thank you for bringing Ari up. It's given me a little bit of levity, not like, oh gosh, it's been so great talking to you. It's just, I feel like I can breathe for a second.
Yeah, no, listen.
Just for a second.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming up, Tess. I appreciate you. And
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good night, and W chat, W everybody, and keep tapping.
Yep. Hey Ari, if you got like 2 more seconds and we can make it really quickly. The person that I told you about earlier, with the brother or whatever, if you have a moment, that's too many thoughts. If you can
Hey,
I got you.
Hey, I'm right here. Hi, guys.
Good. So I gave Ari kind of an understanding as far as what you and I talked about yesterday, the situation. I mean, the fact that you're indigenous and you have a child that's biracial, presenting Black, but your brother has been persistent about saying the N-word, and to the point of laughing at you when you shared, how you feel or whatever, and you don't really know how to actually address it. And also Ari, the brother is 38 years old, and she's shared with him like, hey, you can't say this because your niece, and he's just like, oh, it's all fun and games or whatever. So I thought that you could give a level of perspective and understanding that I wouldn't be able to give. And too many thoughts. You can give any more information or share anything else that I might have left out.
Yeah, I think I after I watched myself back on YouTube, which was super weird, I wanted to add a little bit more context. Not that this statement would make it better, because it still bothers the hell out of me. There is no ERs set in my house. They're in my vicinity. I don't know why he thinks he has a pass. I don't know what in his life that has given him the idea that he can. I'm in the LA area. I'm not going to say where, but for all of our lives, it has been 50-50 Black and Latino classmates and such. So maybe that's why he thought he had a pass, or he thinks he has a pass, but it bothers the living hell out of me. And unless I get aggressive and get angry and start yelling and hit him in the mouth, like, I don't have another way of going about that without destroying relationships.
So my background for people, so they know the context of how I'm coming into this space. I'm Afro-Indigena. I am Boricua, Taína, and also African American. My mother is white presenting Boricua, and my dad's African American. So I was raised biracial, right? My mom's white presenting. So I hear you on that. But even with my own mother, because my mother does not know what it is to be Black.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did not know what it was. We didn't have any of the talks. We didn't talk about police. We didn't do any of that. She did not have any of those talks with me. So missed a lot of it, right? And so these are actually part of the conversations I'm having now with my own mother, because my nephew is biracial as well, just like me. And my mom didn't do all the things with me and my sister, but I am making sure she is doing it with my nephew. And this is where I've even had hard lines and hard conversations with my mother. I didn't talk to my mother for 6 years, right? I had to draw a line to get her to see her harm by going no contact for 6 years. And even when we started talking again, that came with harsh boundaries of, I'm here for my safety. If my safety becomes jeopardized, I'm walking away again. I'm not doing it. And so when it comes to racism and protecting your child, those boundaries also apply to your child, right? And so those boundaries I've also set with my nephew and my own kids, right? I told my mom, if I see you doing the nonsense with my nephew, you best bet you will never see my kids, because I will never put my kids in harm, because racism, anti-Blackness, all that stuff, I'm not doing that to my kids. Why would I put my kids in that situation to be recipients of anti-Blackness by people that should love them enough not to do it? Right? And the way my mom responded to the firm boundary, and she now understands texturism. Now she's yelling at other people about texturism. She's like, don't talk about his hair. His hair is beautiful. I'm like, oh, look at you. Talk about texturism to other people. But that's because I put the hard boundary, right? Because it might seem innocent, but it's anti-Blackness, period, point blank. We should not, and as a society, should stop minimizing it, even if it comes from family, right? That's still harm. And we're teaching our kids to hate themselves when we allow that in that proximity. And I will never, for me, allow my child, my nephew, to hate themselves, especially at the hands of people that should love them. So it really comes at, it's up to you to make that decision of putting that hard boundary up. If you continue down this path, I'm going to protect my child and you will not see them because this is harm.
That does make sense, that I have to literally have a conversation with him while controlling myself, and tell him that there is a red line here now. It is a little bit more complicated because I have my own apartment and I pretty much live my own life. It's literally like we're just neighbors, but they are around her a lot. And you're right. I do have to set a boundary, a hard boundary, and tell him that I don't, like, honestly, you're 38. You do what you do outside, but in this house around my daughter, it just can't happen.
It's not even in the outside, right? Because I'm gonna let you know, this is one of the things I teach my teachers, right? Even if you're not saying it to a child's face, they know, because it comes out in other small ways, right? It comes out in the way your attitudes, all that stuff. If you're just covering up something temporarily in an instance just because you need to be around somebody, it comes out in different ways. One of the saddest things for me as an educator is children know when people don't like them. They know. You don't have to say. You never have to say it to the face. You don't have to go to a child to say, I don't like you. They just know. And so when you have an individual who's not unpacking their anti-Blackness, that's going to come out in different ways. Even if they're not saying the words that are anti-Black, it's going to show up. So either they actively have to change and want to grow to and address their anti-Blackness, right? And that's going to show up in, like, on the out, like, we know when there's white people that say the N-word in their car. We all know. They might not be saying it in public, but we know when they're saying the car because it shows up in different ways. And that same thing applies with that. If he stays saying on the street, that's going to show up in different ways. Maybe not with him saying the N-word in your house, but it's going to show up in different ways in how he treats your daughter.
Yeah, that's hard, dude. It's hard because in this house, like in my house, our private space, just me and her, we have Santana's voice in the house. We have Dean and Parker's and Solid's voice in the house. You guys were always on these panels. It's not like she's not aware I'm having those conversations about who she is in my house. but then for me to have to like possibly destroy her relationship with her uncle is really sad to me.
I want you to hear me, Mama. I want you to hear me real quick. You not destroying nothing. That's on him. But that's a choice he makes, because the people who love you will not harm you or your child. And he's actively making a choice to continue to do so. And you already said he laughed about it, which means he does not care enough to want to not harm you or your child. There is nothing you have done wrong here. I want you to hear me when I say that. There is nothing you have done wrong. You are doing what's best. You are looking for help to support you and your child. You are doing an amazing job. And I know this is a hard choice. It's a choice up to you. But this is a hard decision. I will never minimize that, because it is not easy to recognize and see your family for what they're doing and making hard decisions. And this is a hard choice you've come to and a hard crossroads. And I won't minimize that for you. But just know you have done nothing wrong, and this is not on you at all. You are not destroying anything. That's on him and his behavior.
Yeah. I'm glad that I came up, because I mean I'm a pretty solitary person. Like, I have my group and I'm old now and we still text and stuff, but it's just me and her. But I appreciate y'all for like your everyday panels and conversations, and especially now. I appreciate you guys so much.
You got it, mamas.
I'm really happy that you came back, and I'm glad that Ari got a chance. Like I said, I felt like that would be more perspective than I could ever give, and she proved it. So anyway, thank you for coming back up, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
All right, have a good one, again.
Really quick, Ari, you want to know what my biggest flex is?
What?
Kids love me. Like not even joking. Even if kids always want to okay. I'm a bit of a germaphobe, and kids are normally sticky and snotty and like touching stuff that they're not supposed to touch. And for some reason, they always want to be around me and always want to touch me. And that's so kind of you to want to share your sucker, but I don't want that. But kids really like me for some reason.
So there's for any of the adults who need it for a tip for sticky hands like that. So as a teacher, I always have my kids wash their hands. One, it's part of state procedures, but two, they got sticky hands. They're sticky, right? And so what I did is I turned washing their hands into a game, right? All right, go wash your hands. And then they would go, you hear the water run, and then they cut it off. And then they come out and they're looking at me with that mischievous smile. I'm like, if I sniff your hands, are you going to pass my sniff test? And then they do the little, and then they run away and go wash their hands. So for my parents, especially who parents of preschoolers and toddlers, if you start doing sniff tests on their hands for soap, trust me, they'll start washing their hands more, and it turns into a fun activity for you guys.
If my boys drink out of my drink, that's officially their drink now. Like I don't do germs. I'm so serious. I don't do germs. So anyway,
oh yeah.
Thank you for coming up, Ari. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Good night, guys.
Have a good one. All right. Bree, how are you? Bree, let's send your request. Are you there? Bree going once. Bree going twice. Did I send you the request? Oh, you can't unmute. I sent you the request. Look at your screen. Here, okay, I'm gonna drop you down. Request right back up.
Okay.
There
Hi,
we go.
Santana.
Hi, Bree. How are you?
I'm great. Can I kick it for a little bit?
Sure, you got it. Floor is yours.
Okay. First of all, love your platform. I think it's super funny when people come up and say they found you from Jimmy Dean and Nat Parker. I found you from my FYP, so I found you from you. Big up to
Really?
you. Yes.
Oh, that's a
I love
shocker.
you. Like, my
Let's
god
go.
babies, the toddlers, they know the intro to Sparring with Santana. Like, I love it.
That's awesome.
Okay. So I really have a question more than
Mhm.
anything.
Mhm.
Literally because of you and your friends, I absolutely love. I've gotten more political.
Mhm.
So I wonder, would you ever have like that panel style where you have potential candidates? Like with you, Solid, Ari, Swan. I'm so proud of myself. Athena, like I can name all the people.
Mhm.
Like have like a candidate up there and like everyone kind of not necessarily spar, but like pick their brains for the actuality of what they're gonna do.
That sounds like a
Maybe.
setup.
Really? You think so?
Oh, that sounds like a horrible idea.
First of all, you ain't have to say horrible.
Well, not horrible in the sense of like you, but horrible in the sense of like who would do that? Like that would be. Ooh, that sounds like as my sister Shannon would say. Oh, that's a setup.
I mean, step in if you dare. Come on.
Like, so okay, so the thing is, most of the people that you name, if not all of them, don't do electoral politics. All right. I mean, so like that's number one. But number two, as someone who's had the opportunity to meet, engage, and like go back and forth with a few politicians, most politicians like wouldn't be able to do it. And I'm just gonna be honest.
Why do you say that? Like, I mean, not necessarily like debating policy, but like just to see how they would do certain things. Because I mean,
One thing about politicians is a lot of them are very surface level because they want to stay away from any type of controversy or saying anything that's too deep. And so in order to like shield themselves or protect themselves, they constantly pivot or constantly like keep it light or whatever the case may be. And so if you're looking for actual substance, I mean, you may be able to get a little bit more out of like a town hall. I've seen some pretty decent town halls, but as far as like really grilling them and getting answers, they're not going to answer.
that just made me so sad.
Now,
only because
I will say the interesting thing that I've seen though is the shift in the people who are like democratic socialists. And those type of people that are willing to actually answer tough questions and really engage. I think the further left you go, the more likely you are to get something of substance.
Oh yes, I didn't
But
mean
yeah.
like the typical like Republican Democrat. Like I follow a lot of grassroots people,
Yeah.
so I feel like they might be of substance.
Yeah. So something that Kay and I have been talking about, and still it's on the docket, is like before the midterms, giving an opportunity to because there's a lot of people running for a lot of different offices. So I'm going to lend my platform to the people that's running for offices, and we're talked about doing like a kind of a round table style, kind of exactly what you're saying, except a bunch of them and me.
But
So
not
that's
like bad, not
yeah.
terrible, like you told me.
Say it again.
I said not like terrible, a horrible idea.
Well, the only reason I say that is because whoever would do that would they wouldn't make it. Like that's a setup. You trying to set them up. Like
they got to stand in the paint, 10 toes
yeah,
down.
I don't like even I wouldn't do that. Like that's I would do a 1v20. I wouldn't do a 1v20 with those people.
Well, okay. I mean, you could pick some people that are a little unsmarter, but
yeah.
I just think it would be interesting to like see really. I mean, like, okay, I could go to a town hall. I could think of 1,000 things before I get there, and just like I almost lost my nerve, and I felt like the universe was like, yeah, you can't unmute, so just go ahead and get out of there. I wouldn't say anything to actually get something of substance from them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think understanding like the best place and space to get information and to actually really address people. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, this is such a privileged thing for me to say. And it may be a lot bit tougher for other people, but the more intimate of a setting you can get a politician in, the more likely you are to get like transparency and honesty.
So I gotta take everybody on dates.
Not take anybody on a date. Maybe take them get a cup of coffee. No, I mean, but like, there's a lot of times where, like, some of the best conversations I've had has been with like politicians after a town hall or after a meeting or after something like that, where they're done with the cameras and the Q&A and everything's off the record. That's more of a real moment than them prepping and going back and forth and stuff. So
off the record, how I'm gonna tell y'all what they said if it's off the record?
you gotta run tell that.
Yeah, I'm telling. I'm telling. I work around kids. We telling everything.
I know kids tell everything. Yeah, but I will say, like, I am like, there's a couple of people that I want to try to get in kind of on live and grill them a little bit. But so I do think there's a little bit of space and place for something similar to what you're saying. But man, like having someone like who, honestly, who would you want to talk to me, Kobe, Ari, is solid? Like who would you want to talk? Who would you want to like talk to all of us at one time?
So my two favorite people right now, because I'm in Florida, are Angie Nixon and Bernard Taylor.
Oh, I can get Bernard in here. He's a mutual.
Yeah, I love him. I low key kind of feel like I'm stalking him because I've never met him.
I can set that up with Bernard. I still think it's a setup. Like I think that's like an actual setup. But if you want Bernard, I'll message him. I feel like it's a setup, but
Oh, I mean, okay, you and Solid.
Okay.
Or, like it could be like the guys. I mean, it's not that many of y'all.
No, I'm just saying, like, you threw a lot of people out there. I'm like, I wouldn't do
these
that.
are who I follow now because of you. And I forgot Sean. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. No, we can't. No.
No.
Sean is a no.
No.
Sean is an absolutely not.
I would never. I got nervous mentioning her, so I would never. She is too intelligent. So no.
No, Sean is the smartest person on earth.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff. I forgot Jeff. See, it could be you, Jeff, Hector, maybe, and see, now I'm remembering all the names. It's a couple guys. Like it could be like a guy chat.
I think out of everyone, I think Jeff would be the most because not only is he very calculated and precise, he can shift gears and he separates like his position versus like the task that's in front of you. I think Jeff would actually be great for that. And Jeff lives in Florida.
Hey, okay. He's my neighbor. Love it.
Yeah, I might set that up. I might actually set that up.
Oh my God, I feel so special now. I could stop the butt banana donuts then.
Please.
For tonight.
And thank you.
Oh, wait, it's a new day. Nope, it's a new day.
It's
tomorrow.
Not for me.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up. Thank you for the great idea. I think I'll try to see if Jeff and Bernard would be interested in that. That actually would be pretty dope.
Yay. I'm gonna try to figure out Discord and like also probably try to throw some other people at you that are like grassroots, like not polished politicians. But thank you for having me up. I feel really, really special. And I can't wait to tell the kids that I was on Sparring with Santana. That's the one they know. So.
Yeah, that's all good. All right. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Working. How are you? You sound kind of muffled. You sound underwater and muffled.
No.
You sound like you came up a little bit for some air. But then you went back down, and now you're more underwater and more muffled. And now you're gone. Lena, how are you? Lana? You there? Lana? Hello, hello, hello. Brought you back. Hey, can you hear me? Lana? Lana going once. Lana going twice. Yeah, I was wondering what that was. Okay, let's try this one. You look like you're loading in. All right, do I have you there? Are you there? I can hear you shuffling. There you are you there?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
Okay. Hi. Perfect. Sorry. I had you up on my computer and on my phone, so things were like a little wonky there for a second.
Got it. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
So kind of the root of my question slash advice or insight is so I'm a white woman. I'm coming from like a place of privilege. I've done like a lot of work on like educating myself on ways to kind of get involved in the community. And I can see the significance in highlighting the voice of marginalized communities. Like, I need to put those voices above my own rage or feelings or this or that. What I'm running into is I live in like a rather rural area. And I've come to the point where like I've done a lot of education, but I want to do the work in like promoting those groups and supporting them without kind of invading spaces that aren't for me. So I was wondering if you had any insight on how I can like better be a contributor to that.
Yeah. So I was talking earlier about how I just finished the Malcolm X autobiography. And one of the most interesting things for me when it came to that autobiography was to see like how Malcolm X changed from, like when he was young to prior to him dying, right? And even when he first converted to the Nation of Islam, it was always white devil, white devil, white devil, right? And he had a shift after he took the pilgrimage to Mecca, and he saw like white Muslims of all different races, but he saw the humanity and people that he called brothers and sisters, regardless of their race, right? And so while Malcolm X, once he split with the Nation of Islam, and he tried to start his own like Islamic group here in the United States of America, he said that he had a bunch of white people that wanted to join, right? Because they were like, they believed in what he was saying, but they were off put by the premise of like what the Nation of Islam stood for and what they were doing and all this other stuff, right? And he took a personal stance that like white people couldn't join the group that he had because he felt like the group was supposed to be just for black people, right? But he did say, but what you can do is you can start your own group and we can work in parallel with you. And working in parallel with you means that we'll work on the black people and work on them being work on the issues for black people. You work with white people and work on them not being racist, and we'll work in parallel to make sure that both of us are reaching the goal at the end. And so I say all that to say, I think the biggest thing that you can do is engage with those people, engage with those communities, engage with those groups, and don't put yourself in a position where you're saying, I'm here to do this for you. First and foremost, find out if they're willing to allow you to use your privilege to help support them. And whatever way or shape or form they say that yes, then that's what you do, right? So if it's, joining a specific community or group or vanguard or whatever the case may be, then sure. But then if it's not that, and they say, well, you can work in parallel, then you have to be prepared and willing and ready to do that as well. The biggest thing that you can do is to like drag other white people further left with you, so you can not only educate them, but force them into a position where we're all fighting together for a better life for everyone. But when it comes to specific minority groups, you got to talk to them first and see what they want.
Yeah, I really appreciate that insight. And something that I've kind of recognized in myself lately is me making my rage at like the feelings that like white people have towards marginalized communities. Like I don't want to make my rage towards how they feel the problem of these minority communities, which is something I've had to come to terms with. Like it's like that's not something that you should hear about. That's not your problem. Like I need to make that other individuals within my own race and my own community that's their problem. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so I do appreciate that. And I
And
appreciate your insight. I've had a hard time coming from like a smaller space and where there's not a lot of groups that are fighting for these things, finding ways that I can support without like putting my own kind of like feelings forward, because it's important that like I don't center my voice, I center the voices of the people that are impacted by these issues.
yeah, no, listen, one thing that you have to keep in mind, and I have a member. I'll just call their name Frey. I don't know if Frey's watching right now or not. But a member of our community, Frey, and one time we were doing a late nights conversation, and we were talking about the queer community, right? And we were talking about how can we help people within the queer community and transgender people and all this other stuff. And Frey said something that really struck a chord with me and made me say, like, I really need to keep this in mind. And what Frey said was like, you have to remember, like when you get upset, uh, you're in proximity of someone that you actually care about, then your privilege may temporarily extend to them. But when you leave, your privilege is gone, right? And so I may get so upset and so like want to crash out and like lose my stuff when it comes to transphobes or whatever. But I also have to remember, like, my words and actions put those people that I claim to care for and advocate for, my words put them in danger because I can't always be there. I can't always like extend my privilege. So that's why it's so important to hear the people that you say that you want to, be in service of, and follow their lead. So, it's just one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely understand what you're saying. And I always like I hear you on your lives. I've been a follower for quite a time now. So I hear you say things like, hey, we can weaponize like your privilege, like white women's privilege and this and that. And I do want to do that, but I want to be able to do that while still keeping the communities that I care about safe. So
Also,
I'm kind of
you
at
have to
the
make sure
point
that you're
where
keeping
I've
yourself safe too, because you are still a woman, so you are still part of a marginalized community. So don't, like, make sure you're keeping yourself safe as well.
thank you. Thank you for that. But like I'm at the point where I've done a lot of reading. I've done a lot of like self-education. And I'm ready to take the next steps and have those important conversations and take those next steps to like help engage in advocacy for other groups that might not be as privileged as me. And I want to do that in a way that's respectful and appropriate and is not invading like safe spaces for other like communities that are kind of in that area, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to invade, but I want to support. And like I said, especially living in a rural area, it's kind of harder to find those advocacy groups that are working towards those issues. Um, it's a fine line to tackle.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, absolutely. Well, like I said, the biggest thing is just listening to the people that you say that you want to uplift and follow their lead, and whatever they say, that's what we're gonna do. We'll do it together.
Okay, well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I'm a huge fan.
No, you're a community member. You hold down Twitch like you
I
literally.
do.
Come on,
I really am.
that's why I kept trying to get you back up here because I knew exactly who you were.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was on my phone. I was on my computer. I was like, I don't even know if I'm here anymore.
I was persistent about bringing you back because I knew exactly who you were. You're a part of our community.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to kind of talk about and ask you about some like insight just cuz it's hard. I don't get the opportunity to kind of like talk to people in these other communities other than like, women, and I have queer people in my life, but like I'm in an area where there's not a lot of like there's not a lot of opportunities that are obvious to engage. So I appreciate like the opportunity to do that and to continue to grow and what I can do with like the
Absolutely.
privilege that I hold.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you for coming up and thanks for being a part of our community.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one. All right. Working. And try it again.
Okay, second verse, same as the first. Is that better?
Good. Yep. You're G to G.
Heck yeah. Cool.
How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. How are you?
Good. Last but not least, what do you got?
Of course, I'm the last. So I did, I guess, have kind of a question. Sorry, I might be a little long-winded because I'm kind of nervous. So I guess I kind of wanted to know, like, when you're doing the process of like educating yourself, like at what point do you feel like it's appropriate to, I guess, like start using your educating, like to start like helping people, or to like where should you go from there to like start being able to do the most to like help people, I guess, is my question. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. And I say that in a genuine sense. Like I know what I know, right? I know politics, and with politics, I can talk about politics all day, every day, twice on Sunday, right? And taking in more information when it comes to politics, that's something that I can easily transfer. But then when it comes to like new stuff that I've been learning, I think the biggest thing is like I just talk about it, right? I mean, the stuff that I've been learning is like shocking, and I get so excited about it as well that I can't wait to tell people. So whenever I, with my reading, I get to something that I feel like, holy smokes, I find someone to share it with, right? Whether it's with, my wife, whether it's with Kay, whether it's with Solid or Ari, like I share the information. And the thing that I've learned is that the more that I talk about the stuff that I've been learning, the more that I can incorporate it into like the day-to-day practice of how I do things. And so I think it's just more so like sharing what you learn on a normal basis, and then it becomes a part of like how you integrate things into engaging with people. So now I don't think I'm necessarily like intentful. I'm not studying this so I can teach people this. I'm studying this so I can correct my blind spots, right? The reason why I wanted to learn more about the history of the CIA is because I wanted to know, like, hey, what are they really doing on a global scale? The more reason I wanted to learn more about like the Socratic method is because I'm like, maybe I should learn a little bit more about how to debate. And so, like, when I take these things that I learned and I'm trying to better myself and fill in the gaps for blind spots that I have, it naturally comes out in the way that I share stuff with people.
Okay, so like, I guess when you're learning about like the history of the CIA, like, are you really just kind of learning because you enjoy it, or do you think like you're kind of implementing it in just like what you do, like when you're just like doing, I guess, like sparring, or like when you're doing late nights or what have you?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that I'm like, I need to know more about this, and then there's a couple of things that I'm like, okay, I want to know more about this. And I'll give you an example. So, like, Ari helped me create my reading list, right? And that she sent me a whole bunch of books, and one book that I couldn't wait to read was Legacy of Ash, again, which is the history of CIA, and it's a super long book, and it was like mind blowing from beginning to end because it like covered from the creation of the CIA until the until like I want to say 2012, 2018, somewhere around there. But I was enthralled the entire time. But then I told Ari, I was like, yeah, I need something on debates. And then she gave me this book. It's called The Tools of Argument: How the Best Lawyers Think, Argue, and Win. And it was the most boring, dry book I have ever been through. But it was super informational. Like, it had so much practical information and applicable knowledge. It was definitely one of the most impactful books that I've gone through, even though it was like super boring. So the more that I've actually started to learn, I've learned more about like my reading style, what I like to engage with, how I like to learn. So I think the best thing is just saying like, hey, what do I want to improve? Where do I want to improve? And then once you figure out where you want to improve, then you can kind of like fill in the gaps from there and like build.
Okay, so then I guess like, how do you know like you know enough about like a certain topic to where you're not like an ultra carpetarian, or there was another term that you had used that I can't remember right now,
Yeah,
but it was like
Dunning-Kruger.
when you know a little bit about the topic, but not enough to know that you don't know what you don't know about the topic.
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger.
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger. Thank you. Like, I guess like, how do you know like you're not like, I guess, kind of being like an ultra carpetarian or like being part of the Dunning-Kruger, as opposed to like actually giving people like the real information and like knowing enough to actually be able to like, I guess, help as much as possible, because I really want to kind of, I guess, do the most. And when I'm trying to like read and educate myself, I'm kind of like, I don't know, I really kind of just want to, I guess, do the most with the knowledge and help as much as I can.
Yeah,
I would say is my real question.
I would say like as far as like being an ultra carpetarian, that's really rooted in people who actually don't know anything about a subject. Like, they just, I just told them about photosynthesis and they're sitting there like, yeah, actually what happens with photosynthesis is you got to grab the water and you got to throw it in the sky. I'm like, you don't know anything about it because you just learned about the topic. Stop speaking as if you know what photosynthesis is. That's how that applies. The thing about knowledge is, like, there's a lot of people that know just enough to be dangerous, which is not good, right? Because then they perpetuate misinformation and disinformation because they're headline hoochies. They've read the headline and they can share their thoughts based on the headline, but they don't know the substance. The thing that I'll say is that always keep pushing yourself to learn and grow, and then be receptive to like saying I don't know. And then also be receptive to like learning something about the thing that you think you may know. Best example I have of that is, so a lot of times I talk about the Veil of Darkness study, right? And I've read the Veil of Darkness study, and like I thought I knew it pretty good, and then like Dean heard me talking about it one time, and so then he brought up the Veil of Darkness study while we were live together, and I said one thing, and he was like, "Actually, it's this," and I was like, "Is it?" And I went back and looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, it is." New argument unlocked, right? And so there was another set of eyes that looked at the same thing that I had looked at, and I had looked over multiple times, but got a different understanding and perspective that unlocked a new understanding and perspective for me. So the thing that I'm trying to get across from that is, like, even if you know something, don't think that you know it front and back to the point where you never have to stop, you never have to try to grow on it more. Just keep pushing yourself to always be up to date, always learn, and share whatever you can.
Cool. I appreciate that, Santana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course. Bye.
Good one. All righty, guys. All righty. A couple of quick W's in the chat. W's in the chat for Caleb for the $1.99 super chat. Say, weak AWS Republicans just voted against the war powers. Really? That sucks. W's in the chat for the Taffy Bot, who sent over 5 YouTube membership subscriptions. W's in the chat for Sean for the $19.99 YouTube super chat. Say, thank you so much for the members who gifted this subscription. That was probably the Taffy Bot. I appreciate the community immensely, even though some lessons are hard to hear. I'm all in on deconstructing myself and coming out more informed. Listen, it's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. W's in the chat. W's in chat you. W's in the chat for Kimberly for the $4.99 YouTube super chat to say, did Varillion share my idea for our community? And if so, have the girl do our merch. What merch? It better not be anything about butt bananas, Kimberly. We're not doing butt bananas. W's in the chat for Tashad. Hey Tashad, who's in they've been a YouTube member for 9 months. Thank you for having members night. Amazing guests. Yeah, and listen, I think it's super important that we take time to like check in with each other. And a lot of times, a lot of people have things that they want to say and they want to talk about, and they just don't get the opportunity. And I think that's such a great thing that we got an opportunity to share amongst each other. I think that's huge. W's in the chat for Becca for the $5 donation, saying, I'm a hospital social worker, and if you ever do a live about healthcare system, I would love to be a part of it. So many people have no idea how insurance and healthcare works, and it's so upsetting to see people being harmed daily, and I feel so helpless. Becca, you know what? That actually might be a really good topic for us to do. Kay, have we done? Kay, I could have sworn we've done some a late nights revolving healthcare, haven't we? I can't remember. Kay, I'm pretty sure we have, right? I don't even know if Kay's still here. Yes, I thought we did. I think we might need to put that on the list as some type of like refresher, though. Oh, it was tied. Oh, it was tied to intersect. Oh, okay. I remember now. Thank you, Corey. You said do it again for the people in the back. We might need to. It was a part of late nights. Yeah, that's what I thought. I could have sworn we did. I think we need to run it back. W's in chat for Aston for the $2 donation. I've been trying to ask a question about race. Oh yeah, it was because the boxes were closed. I'm sorry. As far as the Q&A like this, I don't know. We'll talk to Kay. Like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll make this thing like a regular thing in some type of cadence. You said no, Corey. Corey said no. So we can't make this a regular thing. So Corey said no boundaries, so we can't do this as a regular thing. Corey said no, so it's a no. Dubs in chat for Aston. Dubs in chat for April for the $5 donation, saying just moving from Cali to Michigan, drove wiped more money. I'm a little confused as far as which drove wiped more money later. That was in the chat. Thank you for the 5. Be careful. I'll just say that. Be careful. Can I come up and That's a detailed question. It's easy for me. No, we're done. The boxes are closed. That's why nobody else is up here. Debbie's in chat for Amanda for the $10 donation, saying, why is asking the question such a problem in the chat? I don't know. Thank you for the glasses. I read the chat a lot, Amanda. I don't know why it's a problem. Debbie's in chat for Christine. Ooh. Christine, are you here? Christine, Dubs in chat for Christine, who sent the $5 donation. I don't know if you're in TikTok or YouTube or Twitch, or like Christine, can you hear the sound of my voice? Can I read it out loud? Also, did you see you made the background? Sure. But did you see that you made the background? Did you notice that? Yeah, you did. W2. That was in chat for Christine for the 5 said, what do you think about a late nights topic, deconstructing white supremacy, starting with white women, having people on the panel like Kay, Kinsey, etc., who've done the work. Also, thank you. Oh, I didn't even read the last part. I'm sorry. I got so caught up by the first part. I was like, I like that. Yeah, absolutely. You made the background. I kind of mess with that. Deconstructing white supremacy? I kind of mess with that. That sounds great. Yeah, I like that idea. I do. All right. I think we're all caught. Oh, wait, let me check Twitch before they riot. Debbie's in the chat for Soul Survivor, who sent out a Twitch subscription. Debbie's in the chat for Atlanta, who sent out 1,000 cheered bits to say the way it's past my bedtime, and my ADHD meds have far worn off mine too. I appreciate you talking through my question with me, and I want to be a resource for my community and help me, and you've helped me in that goal. Absolutely. You're gonna do a lot of great work, like, because you want to do the work, which is super important. Debbie's in chat for Lana as well for the 1,000 bits that said sorry. I'm sorry, kinda, but Santana for the butt bananas. Stop it with the butt bananas. Debbie's in the chat for One Mighty Pen, who said the one chair but said, Corey's not the boss of me. Corey's not the boss of us. Corey, you're not the boss of us. Did you hear that, Corey? You're not the boss of us. All right, guys, we're gonna call it though. Seriously. Thank you all for doing the W's in the chat for Taffy for the $10 donations for Shiggles. Yes. Shiggles. Definitely Shiggles. Thank you guys for doing this over these 2 nights. I think this was super important. And maybe we'll figure out something where we can do this, like make it a thing, maybe once a quarter, right? Maybe once a quarter or something. I don't know. But like doing this more often, I think it's really important that we take the time to check in with our community and hear from the people that make up the community, right? You like it? Yeah. I feel really bad that I couldn't get to everyone. And I'm really, really sorry for all the people that got kicked out of the request and the people that I didn't get a chance to speak to. But just know, if I could, I would stay on all night and we would, continue to go. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for hanging out. I think this was really good. And I think that being able to actually stop it, Bree. Being able to actually hear each other out is super important. And so I'm really happy that we did this. Next week, Late Nights with Santana will be back on its normal schedule. So starting Sunday evening, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I kind of have the topic, but we got to flesh it out because I really want to do one thing, but then I think there's a need for another thing, but then there's an option to like combine the things. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But officially, Late Nights with Santana will be back on its normal schedule starting this Sunday. And so that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where everyone gets an opportunity to join the conversation. We're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. We're going to work together. We're going to do all these things together because we have 6 months left in the year. So what's your One Piece question? Nah, I gotta go. I can't wait. I gotta go. Sorry. All right. Spar with Santana in the morning. We're sparring 8. Whoa, I haven't said this the whole time. Look up at the top. You see the word follow? You're not following me. Hit that follow button. We're on our way to 200,000 followers. Please, please, please hit that follow button. Turn on notifications so you guys know when we go live. What season do you think crew had the best? I don't know, but I really like the gear when what was it? The movie, what was it, Red? Where they were like on that island that was like Las Vegas. Oh, they were drippy. They were super drippy. They were super drippy when they were at the casino. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. Let's go.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late Nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late Nights truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures, but the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late Nights with Santana, yeah. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, Late Nights with Santana.
Hey, that was in the chat for you guys. I think this was really impactful. I love being able to talk to you guys, honestly, and I think it's super interesting. For some reason, you guys get advice from me. I don't understand that, but I do like the opportunity just to sit back and talk to you guys. That's a lot of fun. So thank you for doing this, and thank you guys for getting me back in the groove. Right, I had to warm up, and we're getting back into full swing of it next week. But we'll be back in the morning for some sparring. So guys, take care of yourself, get some sleep, lock in, get ready to dunk on some of these MAGA chuds in the morning, and I'll see you. I love you. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for all the gifts, taps, likes, and shares. Thank you all for being an amazing community. I couldn't ask for better people. I love you all so much, and as always, peace.
Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might